The following podcast contains content that may not be suitable for all listeners. The views and opinions expressed in this show are based on speculation and personal perspectives and should not be taken as fact. Some discussions may include mature themes, strong language, or controversial topics. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy the show, and welcome to the Kick It Spot podcast. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Daniel, for coming out.
Welcome to the Kick It podcast. This is your host, Tyler Gonzo Scott. I cut a man's tires earlier this week to save my podcast. Have you done anything drastic for this podcast?
Shit, beat my old lady one time.
It happens.
Yeah, dude. Everybody was like, well, you know what you tell a girl with a black eye.
What?
Nothing. You already told her twice. Well, no, I'm just kidding. I would never. But, yeah,
That's kind of the Pizza Records tone.
Yeah.
Of
oh, yeah. Yeah. So, people that don't know, you host Pizza Records Live.
Can you turn my headphones down?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
I'm getting blasted.
There you go. Try now. Does that sound good?
A little more?
A little more? There you go. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of want to hear yourself. That way you know you're speaking pretty clear.
It, but
yeah, here we'll turn it up just a hair. There we go. Does that sound good? Not too loud?
That's
right
how
there?
I hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me?
When you go, yeah, it pops me real bad.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be a bitch.
No, that's okay.
Thank you, sir.
No, you're good. Yeah, we're still picking up pretty good here, so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so you host Pizza Records Live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. This is a free event at Pizza Records, for those who don't know.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more a podcast. It was just,
which I love that.
It was just an open mic, but with the locale, it's difficult for that to consistently be a thing, and we want to be doing something every Wednesday.
Yeah.
So now we have a portion of the show that's open mic, and then aside from that, it's going to be a talk show. This last episode, it was just us talking on the couch for a while, no open mic. People.
Nobody came up to do stand-up?
No.
Man,
so,
I
that's
hate to see
fine.
it.
But, because we have to have variety.
Right, but it still keeps it interesting. So if nobody shows up, you guys can still do a podcast.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a more aimed towards a late night talk show.
Yeah, like what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, go ahead. A talk show.
Yeah, late night. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I like a few of them, especially older ones. But, yeah, we're going to make it more a talk show and have a portion at the beginning, about 15 minutes. It's going to be a little longer. There's going to be 5 minutes per person, randomly selected. Trying to move away from a Kill Tony thing, but the random selection's good.
Right, yes.
We don't want to step on toes. The couch is kind of where we step on toes, where it's like, we're going to pick people.
First come, first served gets the couch.
A little bit. The couch is to be consistently like there's a bit of chemistry there and they're confident and they'll keep the show rolling.
Right.
Whereas the open mic is for people trying something. And then there's something we've already called the cuck stool. There's a stool near the end of the couch.
Yeah.
We're going to have them sit in that stool for a bit. It's right next to the mic now.
Yep.
So now on cam, you got your stand-up guy way off to the left and then me way off to your right. And you have the whole thing we don't have to do camera work or anything like that. We can just keep it running. But
awesome.
Yeah, and after each set, have a little 3-minute sesh. And what I like about those, when they interview the guy after in Kill a Tony,
yes, it's very personal usually.
There's gonna be mild meanness,
right,
to keep the show fun, and it's gonna be. I'm gonna try to keep it more absurd, but I can't account for the couch, and that's right.
But also, when a person sucks, like, you should call them out on it, and just a little bit, not be like a complete asshole, but like push them to do better.
So here's what Kill Tony.
What makes you want to strive to be better than like somebody calling you out on your craft?
Exactly.
I would love that.
What Kill Tony doesn't really do, because it depends on the guest, and most of them don't do it, is actually tell the open micer how you felt during it and what they could do.
Right.
And also something that's so great about the interview afterward is usually that person, even if they bombed, kind of kills. If they roll with Tony well enough, you can see who they could be as a great comedian.
Right.
A lot of them.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of episodes. I watch this every week. Sometimes I watch 3 or 4 episodes a week, and there's a lot of people who are terrible at comedy, but are just like great human beings in general. Like
Yeah,
funny voice,
that's
way they
something.
present themselves, and then they end up. Sometimes they end up on panel.
That's something I'm fighting personally is having. Do I have talent or am I a media personality that is like I can keep the show rolling,
Right.
whatever that means. I do have a ADHD jack of all trades thing, and I do like entertainment.
Yes. This
And
is what this kind of is.
I'm a little read. I'm not educated, but I've read. I'm a dropout, and I got the.
Me too. I got my GED.
I have not yet. I'm gonna do some info dump and try to do this quick,
Do it. Go ahead.
just so that I don't end up going on a tangent later.
This is your show, bro. Whatever you want to talk about, please feel free.
Nice. It's always my show. We go on my show. It's my show. We go on your show. It's my
Yeah.
show. I'm a powerful man.
When I go on your show, though, I like to feel like it's my thing, you know?
You do.
Because I come out and I try to go balls to the
To be
wall.
honest, it's just me yelling my name at the top. You are typically a bit more.
I love getting my name
Yeah.
announced and then coming
You
on
get your
stage.
hands
There's
dirty
nothing
on
like
the
it.
show. I gotta get more like you on the show.
I've never had this before, so this should be good.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about it.
Very good.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Tastes like a cherry limeade.
I gifted. I didn't want to come empty-handed. I didn't have enough
Nice.
weed to give you. I only had enough for another.
And this is
joint.
an energy drink?
Yeah, it's an energy drink.
Nice.
I
Thank
needed
you,
it.
buddy.
But I'm an info dump now. Born in Wichita, Kansas. I remember like two things. They're like hitting my head. I remember my dad coming home from Saudi Arabia in the Air Force. A little bit. Then we moved to Mississippi. Mississippi, very early on.
How old were you during all this?
Once we moved to Mississippi, I was three and a half, and I stayed there until I was about 13. Mississippi is 50th in like education and like near one in poverty.
Really?
Yeah, and it felt third world because you would watch reality television, and sure, that's like the Hollywood Hills, but you'd even see the Midwest on television.
Right.
You'd be like, that's different.
Yeah.
Because even,
Little House on the Prairie.
a little less
shit like that.
a little less segregated, way less trees on TV.
Right.
Down
Because a lot of towns there are probably sundown towns.
They're terrifying.
Right.
I went back. So growing up, okay, my school, the football team, the Confederates, and that was their
shit.
flag. I watched multiple. I think I watched one kid twice. One kid was loud about it, a black kid on the football team, and everyone was on him that he had to do. That was how it was.
Right.
You have to do football if you can do football. All the money went to the field, and none of it went to your education.
Right.
He like a few times said, "I don't want to play under that fucking flag," and he got bitched out by a history teacher, and like it was fucked
There's
up.
a lot of racist high school mascots here in Illinois, even. And it's
Yeah.
funny because this is funny that you mentioned this because I actually just wrote a joke
All right.
about some of the worst high school mascots in the United
Hey!
Are
That's
and
weird
how
shit
fucked
that
up they are.
happens.
Yes, manifestation is weird. It's a real thing.
When I did stand up in Peoria, someone did a bit about people who've only tried meth once, and I had written that down a year before watching Kill Tony. And I was like, what the fuck? And it was like almost the same. It was like the same bit.
Right.
And I was like, God, you got to be careful doing this fucking shit. I could just step in it.
Yeah.
It's worse. But our
Yeah, keep going.
mascot was
Yeah.
General Lee. And
No shit.
I remember in like 5th grade going to the elementary gym one day, like the first day of 5th grade, and be like, where the fuck's General Lee? Where's he at? You know? It was like little kids playing. As the internet got bigger and phones got bigger, they washed. I went back.
Oh right, yeah.
I went back, just as COVID hit, basically, to bury my nana. I had a bowel obstruction. We're gonna bury her next to my favorite grandparent, Doyle Dean Tabor, who
That's your dad's dad?
My dad's dad. The whole time I knew him, he had Alzheimer's. But he fought in Korea. He would walk up to people in Mississippi and go, I'm one of them Korean boys. And they go, you don't look Korean. He thought it was 1952. He was like, I'm off the boat. You know the war.
Right.
But people are like, the fuck? And he and my dad both looked Mexican. And I don't.
You have a
So-
Hunter S. Thompson kind of look to you.
Right now.
Right now,
certainly.
yeah.
I think
Definitely.
I have a, honestly, I have kind of a twinkish look to me. And so does Johnny Depp to some degree. So when he did the Hunter S. Thompson, I'm looking more like him.
Yeah, for sure. You got some style, for sure.
But I was obsessed with fucking movies growing up. That was an escape from just like weird. When we went, I should finish. When we went back, Columbus, which was famous nationally for having no murders solved for 20 years and not for lack of murders. They even said it's been as long as the clock tower's been broken on City Hall. So they fixed the clock tower. They couldn't.
They fixed the clock tower before
the-
solving some of the
the
murders.
education, the tech, it's a deep red state.
Right.
So red states, it's
A
fun.
lot of blue collar.
Blue collar red state.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun to look at. You know, oh, who should I vote for? If you look at the states,
I'm not big into politics, but you know, I
I
know
just gotta
right
say,
and wrong and all that.
I have a very big political edge, having had like neutral, normal, normie parents, and then being raised in a super religious, racist, poor, uneducated, right wing. I get that to the point that it's hack, and I wish people would just stop. It's just hack. We
Right.
get it by now. You enter fight or flight when you read.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just a part of me that I'm not gonna try to, especially now because everything's getting real heated and real. I don't want to be in any, like all liberals, I picture myself in a history book like a fucking narcissist, and I want to see myself not sig heiling and saying the opposite thing.
You seem very educated from like all the interactions that we've shared.
I get that. I'm certainly not, but I think I'm decent about like sourcing
For
a
sure.
little bit.
Yeah.
But that's also probably a narcissistic edge. I'm probably wrong about a few things, but everyone is. But
yeah. It's really hard to be a fact checker, you know.
Mississippi was hell, and then Pawpaw died. The whole time I knew him, he had Alzheimer's. He's my favorite. I take he looked like me with a mustache. He cross-dressed as a joke a couple of times just to prove that my nana wouldn't recognize him in the hairdressers, and I was bi-curious for a minute, so I take after him quite a bit. I'm worried about the brain. I eat a lot of carbs, and that's bad for brain health. But part of me also wants to like get into fighting just to make quick money. That's not good for brain health either.
No.
That's probably But after Mississippi was hell, Pawpaw dies. Dad gets laid off from the Air Force Base because they just do that. He was a jet engine mechanic. He dropped out of college and then went into the Air Force. Went to Saudi Arabia. He got with my mom. He was in his late 20s. She was like 20. She had never been anywhere before aside from around here in Illinois. Her dad was a veteran. He was fucking batshit. I talked about it on the other podcast, but violent, gun crazy type racist. The other Pawpaw, Grandpa Pawpaw on Dad's side, was super. I found out from Dad's super Republican family. He's Democrat, made me love him more. I couldn't have found that out from him in life. He was gone the whole time I knew him. But we moved with crazy ass Nana in tow to Illinois. We were like, oh, she's lost it, but then she's doing everything that she's told my mom her mom did. So it's a bit of a performance. So like we're all still in hell. Then we live in a couple hotels here. Me and Garrett like escape into Garrett's my brother, my little brother. We like got super into like pro wrestling just to like have something to escape into. Like,
back then it would have been fucking
Raw.
AEW.
No, that's super new. I'm 30. He's 28.
I used to watch it with my grandpa when I was about 20 years ago.
We moved here just before Barack Obama got elected. And ironically, I wasn't political enough at the time. They actually went around our middle school class because everything was political. There was never an apolitical time. They went around our class and asked, who would you vote for between McCain and Obama for some project? I said, McCain. And they're like, why? Because, it was a younger girl who's interested in politics. She's not probably going to be Republican.
Right.
Typically. But she was like, why? I was like, I don't know. Obama didn't put his hand over his heart for the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know. But in Illinois, I kind of figured out what I was because it's more objective here. If you don't play football and you're not Christian down there, freak. You might as well hang out with every emo, you're them.
Right.
No matter, even if you're like, nah. There's not room for someone who's just like, no, I want to do my own thing. They
open-minded.
They might get it, they might not. But dropped out, can't do math or machines. Dad can do machines.
Me either.
Mom's artsy and I'm artsy. But I can't draw for shit, really.
Me either.
Because I'm not consistent. One time when I really got into weed for the first time, like 3 years, like after it was legalized, we had it in Springfield, I was doing pretty good, and I haven't been able to get back to that. But everything, okay, So then I get into a bad relationship in my mid-20s. That leads me to homelessness. And then I get out of homelessness. I work for an apartment with my mom's help for a bit. I've always been possibly bipolar. I got medicated for bipolar, but I had a bad reaction. So I can't do whatever those meds were. I haven't went back yet, but I had a really bad reaction with the withdrawal for like a month.
Mm.
Just after that, went into homelessness for 8 months, I think. And then
How was that? Was you like couch surfing,
I
actually
couch-
sleeping on the street?
I both. I squatted where I shouldn't have. I don't want to get anyone
That's okay. No, you don't have to
in
incriminate yourself
trouble
or anything.
Yeah, I
But
plead the fifth, but
right.
I've
couch surfed
I
numerous
plead the
times for
fifth
years, and
on-
it's tough. It's a tough way of living.
I have to be honest. A lot of things about my living situation right now are technically still illegal. A lot of things I have to do in a day. I don't have the legal right because I fucked up in basically that relationship period. I got really into weed and I couldn't handle breaking up. It meant
It's tough.
homelessness for that.
It's
But
tough,
then we were
yeah.
both homeless. That finally got handled. I broke that off. And I started stand up in Peoria. I went like 5 times while working at a pet store. I got sexually harassed a little bit, and I didn't handle it well because I needed somebody. But I got sexually harassed by a manager. And
A
then,
man or a woman?
Woman. And, because if they face consequences.
Yeah.
That job specifically said we prefer female management, and they only had female management, and they had a bunch. They said we prefer it because there's less reports of sexual harassment. But to be fair, when I went to report it and things got real, I was like, I'm out. This is fucking weird, and I have to work here, and I don't care anymore. That person later on, they didn't get fired or demoted, but later on had something to do with sexual with kids.
Oh no.
So I was right that they were a bit fucking weird. It wasn't me. I couldn't
Right.
handle any attention at the time.
Well, it sounds like
was
they
in
got what
hell.
they deserve. Then I'm hoping,
So I was a little bit still in hell.
Right.
My mom said that it was killing her, and I never thought about it that way. I was like 29, and I couldn't do stand up. I lost the driving rights. I was fucking angry, and then my wife reached out to me randomly on Facebook because we had liked each other's pictures and posts and shit, and we hit it off. And then we were already talking, I think, about getting married and all that shit by the time she said, oh, by the way, Devin and Heather own Pizza Records and they want to host shit like that. Do you want to host an open mic? And I was like, sure. So basically everything I have right now, I wasn't mature or ready enough to do.
Right. So this is all new to you.
Yeah, I like all
Awesome.
of this. Everything's new to me, pretty much. I got into music late, like listening to music, like one of those autism / ADHD things. But I got into music late, and it really started. I always liked Ozzy and Rob Zombie.
Hell yeah. Crazy motherfuckers.
And then there was some eclectic stuff, but then I really, in my early to mid 20s, got into David Bowie. David Bowie's he's one of the undeniables, up there with like Muhammad Ali. I think he's one of the undeniable greats, above many who are compared to him. Freddie Mercury and Elton John, it doesn't feel fair to me to compare them to him. They're not him. They'll never be him.
Yeah. Well, everybody has their own style of like, the way they do anything,
And
so I feel like I feel like when it's just good, it's good.
It's good.
You can't really have a GOAT,
But
the number one guy. Like Eminem, they say is the GOAT, the best rapper of all time.
Yeah,
How can you prove that? It's all based on opinion, If
quote-
you love them, that means enough to you.
Yes, that's all it's about. That's what, and that's called the pluralism or multiculturalism, where, and Bowie talked about this. That's one of the reasons there's a bunch of things I believe that no one had said, and then I started looking into Bowie after I realized how many fucking amazing hits that I agree should be hits were his, and he wrote them.
And I'm not
he
very
did the
familiar with him,
instruments.
so after this, I'll try to tune into a little
Hell
bit of
yeah.
David Bowie and
But he,
get more familiar with him.
I do this. I can't remember what he said. Oh, once upon a time, it was just Elvis, because you had one radio station and one
The biggest star in the world.
But as you came into the 70s and 80s, it blew up. Now with internet culture,
Yes.
we can't even handle the fact that everyone's in their own little echo chamber in their own little dimension. we're not one culture at all. And
No.
we're not gonna be as long. And it's probably better if we can let the nerds with law degrees handle what they need to handle. But right now, the nerds with law degrees are getting fucking bodied by rock star types that inherited what they have and just swing it around like a dick.
Mm-hmm.
They can't handle it, and I don't know what the internet might even become. We might get Elvis back.
Oh
Because
yeah, with AI and everything.
The net neutrality and all of that. Like even exclude AI. Say people know
Like
the
somebody like
difference.
trying to replicate the style.
No, I don't even mean Elvis as Elvis. I mean
Oh.
having one guy be the guy, and you can't argue because no one else gets to have those ratings.
Right. Well, you could look around at some of the most like famous people in the world right now. Jelly Roll, Post Malone, Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I mean, there's a lot of high up people in the world, like super top tier, like legends.
And
John Cena, one of them guys. You know, you talk.
Yeah, you have people.
You know, even Arnold.
A lot of our people that are the undeniables, and it's always been this.
Yeah,
way
no matter where they go, they'll be recognized by somebody.
But it was so stagnant for years. We just started getting some new people, but there for a while, it's just like Will Smith.
Oh, God.
Just the same guys over and over and over and over again. And you're just like, since 1992, we haven't gotten a new dude. And it was like 2000. I felt that way in like 2016, and we just started losing dudes. We didn't get new ones really.
Yeah.
We just started, but because you're a rapper.
Yep.
And then I'll talk to you about comedy a little bit, and then we'll go to, I'll hand you reins of your fucking show.
Yeah.
But I said my list of musicians.
Well, yeah, we never even finished. So
go ahead.
Well, you said something about doing stand up in Peoria, and then you came here, met your wife, got out of Pizza Records.
I've always been in Jacksonville, but they didn't have stand up.
Right.
So I just went out there an hour and a half.
And I'm glad that you took the reins on that because it's inspired me. You know?
For real?
Yeah. Well, at first I was watching Joe Rogan, and then I found Kill Tony, and I was like, I love this. It's fucking awesome. I never thought in my life I'd do comedy. And then started getting really big into Kill Tony. And I had talked to Devin. You was already hosting comedy night. It'd probably been going on for maybe a couple months. I went to one, no comedians showed up, nothing happened. And then there was a night when I hosted my show that I told him, I said, if you guys do like a Kill Tony style show, I will be here. I will write something and I will be here. And I was at episode 1. Yeah, and I wasn't lying when I told him that. I said, I'm going to fucking try.
Well, you've earned
I love it. I love comedy.
You've earned your couch privileges. So in terms of like vibing and improv, you can definitely come, but if you want to rap, I'll save a portion for you for rap and exclude it from
yeah, we only did that twice out of this. I think I've done 7 appearances and I've only rapped twice. But I kind of took away from that element. Like, as I just like the comedy. I love just being funny.
All time, who are your top, I'm going to say 5 stand-ups?
Oof. Richard Pryor is funny as hell. Eddie Murphy. Shit. Andrew Dice Clay is good. There's so many. A top 5 though, like currently,
of all time,
Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
I really like Theo Vaughn. Shit, what's his name? I was just watching him the other day. He's in Skankfest. He's one of the panelists for Skankfest. He's got the fucking piercings and tattoos. What's his name? I can't think of his name. Adam Ray. Oh my god.
Adam Ray's great.
Him as Dr. Phil.
Yeah. The great thing is he's improv.
Is comedy gold.
Have you seen Kyle Dunnigan?
He's a terrible listener, but he's a great improv comedian.
Have you seen Kyle Dunnigan?
No.
You know him? He runs, similar crowds. He does a Bill Maher impression that's really good, but he does all kinds. One of the things is all this stuff he does on the internet, he typically uses a webcam and a face swap.
Oh, okay. He's the one that did buttered sausages. Let's talk about buttered sausages. What it's doing, where it's been.
Yeah, he might.
Is that him?
He might have been. I know he does Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, your Arnold impression is fucking spot on.
Oh, okay. So this is something we can do. I can do a little bit of because a lot of people, chopper. But I like to talk about it because he's a person. He's just a person who went to work. He made his first million in real estate. He was in the Austrian military. He got with the tanks.
He was the governor of
He came over.
California.
He came over here. He became Mr. Olympia, Mr. Bodybuilder, whatever, Mr. Universe.
Yep.
And then he got into acting. To learn the impression.
Amazing movies, by the way.
To learn the impression, I watched a 26-minute compilation of his most funny bits. There's parts where he is very young. There's parts where he's old. So there for a while I would have to apotheosis them together. So like in Young Hercules, he was originally dubbed in Young Hercules, but he's got great. He goes, he grabs a forklift and they can't get away, right? He's got it. And he goes, fine chariot, but where's the horses? They're like, no, that doesn't work.
Oh, wait, so this is like a modern day Hercules movie?
Yeah, it's like 1970.
I've never seen this.
It does One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, that Jack Nicholson movie with the beanie and the leather jacket. He gets
I've only
locked
seen
up.
that once and a long time ago.
They do that with him. But then they've also got, in the compilation.
Yeah, that's right, where they put the face over like the original actors, right? The dubbed.
Yeah. No. The voice dub in terms of Young Hercules in New York. It's a voice dub. He looked great. Yeah, because he wasn't voice trained, he wasn't acting trained.
Right,
he didn't have any of that. He didn't get a jaw reduction surgery yet, which he got. But
didn't know that happened.
Oh yeah, I think in the 90s. You can look at him. He kind of slimmed. He and Hulk Hogan both kind of slimmed down and got longer in the 90s around the same time. And Hulk just because he was older, but I think Arnold on purpose. He got a jaw reduction and changed. For Conan, he changed the way he worked out because his chest was too developed for proper sword technique. So he had to change the way, and he couldn't work that. He couldn't work that out for mass.
Body modification is just weird to me. Other than like tattoos and piercings, it's like not really something I'm into. Botox, all that stuff's just weird. It's just weird to me.
Yeah, not about it.
But iconic legend. I mean, goddamn, dude. Total Recall. Fucking Last Action Hero. Kindergarten Cop. I mean, come on, dude. Like, he has a number of like great titles. He's a legend. One of my favorite actors of all time.
I would say my top 5 stand-ups would be Louis C.K.
Oh, yeah.
Shane Gillis. He's earned it. Especially for now. It's so weird and complicated now, and he simplified it. And it pisses some people off because they think he's like super Republican. It pisses some people off because they think he's like a leftist that lies or some shit. But he's doing something super complicated, and Louis C.K. pointed that out too. Richard Pryor is timeless. So many comedians. Like, I did the jukebox in Peoria. That's the only place I did. Pryor never did that place, but he's born there. And his mom was like a prostitute. Yeah, he's from there. His mother was a prostitute. Wyatt Earp, back in the 1800s, would have been, they believe, a pimp and possibly, definitely a brothel bouncer in Peoria, but possibly a pimp as well, which is why in the movie Tombstone, Ike Clanton says, "You goddamn pimp." He's insulting him as an actual literal horror monger.
That's crazy.
Peoria's neat. It's Shane
yeah,
Gillis
I've been to Peoria plenty of times. I had no idea about the history there, though.
Shane Gillis said it was just cold wind and 2 black guys walking the streets, or something like that. But,
yeah. Cam Patterson was out there, and he saw snow out there for the first time ever
in his life. Yeah,
in his life. Yeah, this was last 2 Decembers ago. Yeah,
son of a bitch.
Yeah, I missed it. Killers of Kill Tony will be back there coming up in a few months. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, you're gonna go.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, it's just Killers of Kill Tony. It's like like Ari Matty. He's really good right now.
Yeah.
Who else? There's so many good comedians out. Fucking Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
That's my
hilarious.
number 4. He's
hilarious.
Shane Gillis, Louis C.K., Richard Pryor, Bill Burr. I'm gonna bring up a controversial exclusion. George Carlin.
Oof. My grandma loves him.
There's a term called clapter, where the audience is cheering more than laughing.
Because they agree with what he says. Yeah, his political views are fucking spot on.
Yes, and if
he calls out the stupidity of politics.
And if you listen, it's undeniably left-wing.
Oh, yeah.
My grandfather, the right-wing one with the guns and everything, he would have shot George Carlin if he could. would have shot that hippie, that black loving hippie. Carlin was, and everything he's pointing out is happening right now. It's a big. Listen to
And
what
he's
he
been dead
says.
for a while, right?
Long while.
Yeah.
Listen to what he says before he says it's a big club and you're not in it. He describes everyone right now who's in charge right now.
Right.
But so Bill Burr, that's my exclusion. And I'm going to put for my fifth, I'm going to say Ron White. Ron White was my first
legend.
Because Dad liked watching the fucking blue collar comedy tour.
Yup, with fucking Larry the Cable Guy.
I hated
Jeff
Larry.
Dunham.
I hated Larry and Jeff. Jeff Foxworthy. Jeff Dunham's the puppet guy.
My fault.
I got into
Dunham is the puppet guy.
Dunham
my fault.
is the
he's gold though.
He is the highest selling stand-up. Someone tried to claim they were and got mocked because it's Jeff Dunham. Of course, the guy with the gimmick that exceeds stand-up, beat all the stand-up guys. People want to see the puppets like the rock stars.
Oh, and they're awesome.
But I got really into Jeff Dunham when I was just about to leave middle school. Formative things for my comedy feelings. In Mississippi, I needed an escape, and I was getting too into stuff and curious and focused, growing up. I was about 12 or 13. So I started watching Blackadder, which is a British Rowan Atkinson comedy. He's Mr. Bean. The first season is medieval Mr. Bean, but everything after that, he's a cunt. It's kind of like House, if House was just like a servant in someone else's place in like the 1700s. I can only imagine how that is. People still, I show it to other, grown Americans. They don't get, of course.
Do you mind if I smoke?
100%. I might. Can I steal one off?
Yeah, of course.
To look cool.
Yeah, dude.
Mostly because I have a vape. I'm trying to stop, but I do like.
Yeah, I was gonna grab a vape if not.
These aren't that addictive to me. The vapes actually are, but these do look cool. No, to look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude! You look cool as fuck.
Thank you, sir. But
you look so much more relaxed now.
But Beavis and Butthead and Blackadder. And
these are things. Blackadder is something I've never heard of, so
I would
definitely things to look into. You want me to pull it up? We can pull it up.
Only look up Blackadder Goes Forth. Everything before that is too obscure because everyone, if you're not from London, England doesn't care about you. And if you're not from London, you have a Mississippi education, it turns out. I found that out recently. London's the only decent place in England. Every other place is poor and uneducated like Mississippi, about that level. And also the place is like the size of Mississippi total. But a lot of their TV is like just meant for fucking London college students. But Goes Forth is about World War I. So you can get it.
This is the one we're looking for?
Because, I'm not going to pretend. Yeah, anything. It doesn't matter. He's going to do some banter.
There's a...
It's
funny because they were just talking about London and how they did a sitcom based on whether the sitcom is based on a Nazi coming home.
Oh, yeah?
And, pretending like Nazi Germany didn't happen. Yeah, this is a real sitcom based in the 90s. In 91, this came out in London.
Have you ever seen the movie that the Thor Ragnarok guy made, that What We Do in the Shadows? Not the show, but the movie. It's these vampires that live in New Zealand. My favorite, it's hard to pick a favorite because there's like a narcissistic Dracula with a mustache that likes to, and I love those dudes that care about how they dress and they try to look pretty. That's me.
Right.
There's another one.
Clean lined eyebrows.
There's another one, but he's a literal dandy. He's too fussy and feminine. But another one, Deacon, he is a Nazi vampire, and he just openly says man, it was rough. I had to get out of there. They didn't like Nazis or vampires. This one has a heartbreaking ending if you actually watch the season. It's a great show. Hey, 420.
Oh, 420. Lays up.
Captain Blackadder?
Here to join us for the last waltz?
Yes.
He plays the same named guy
This
in
is
every generation. So they come back every generation as their own son or grandson.
News. Together we'll fight for king and
country. Oh, I know him. That's the guy from fucking Stuart Little.
He and Stephen Fry.
That's Mr. Bean?
Everyone seems determined to eat it the moment they arrive.
British television might be better than ours.
Maybe.
Noble.
Especially they're if you're watching celebrities just talk as themselves, you can pause this.
I'm scared too, sir.
Because it's not going to be that. We're not going to.
Yeah. We'll close it out. But now I'm familiar with what you're talking about here.
Honestly, if you're watching a show with like celebrities talking, you got an ashtray.
Yeah, right there. It's the
cool.
lowrider.
Badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yep.
If it's just celebrities talking and it's American, it's typically dog shit. You have to like pick and choose from what celebrity isn't dog shit. But they get. Sorry, I burped.
You're okay. Did it again.
Got to do it.
Gotta let it out.
But in England, London has this thing called banter. They're all cunts, and they openly say the word cunt because they're always drinking, and they don't have guns, so they'll just kick each other in the head and shit over like soccer. So they're a bit more rough and tumble.
Rugby also.
Like if you watch X Factor, which is what America's Got Talent was based off of, X Factor, they're all Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell's the hot one.
Right. Yeah.
And then you go to America, Simon Cowell's the mean one, and then the other two are hot and talented. You don't even know Simon Cowell. But in England, they're all the mean one. So the celebrity shows are decent. They keep the ones that have good banter.
It's
can be
real
funny.
critique, right? Like where they're fucking stern about what they're talking about.
No, it's real funny. So the funny ones don't end up on.
Oh, okay.
You don't have a Ryan Seacrest and a Nick Lachey just smiling around. You have for certain shows over there because they're trying to do what we're doing. But a lot of their sitcoms and celebrity banter bullshit panel shows are fucking great. And but there's a bit of a learning.
Well, hell,
curve.
even some of our best fucking sitcoms have come from UK. Like, look at The Office.
The Office,
the
yeah.
American version of it. Shameless. Look at the American version of Shameless.
Personally,
fucking gold.
I personally defend English Office as better than U.S. Office because U.S. Office kind of became the same as all the found footage sitcoms, whatever you call those.
Mm-hmm. Found footage would probably be the genre.
It's like fake reality, whatever they have a show for.
Right.
For that, faux reality or something. But it kind of blended in with the rest of those. If anything,
like Real World kind of.
Parks and Rec made an American The Office, whereas the UK The Office was so real. That's what an office in in America is kind of like. There's just there's less smiling and it's meaner over there. So people, and then they're gonna have a bunch of unattractive people in a gray room bitching, and they don't get some of the references. So it doesn't work over here. But I personally love that one a lot.
Hell yeah.
I love early Gervais. He was one of my favorite comedians, but recently he's kind of like certain celebrities don't age well, and they just they become their age. They don't stay the guy. Bill Burr is still the guy. Ricky Gervais is not still the guy.
Michael Scott, he's a really good actor, and he did a damn good job in The Office.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it all, but I've seen Steve Carell. My fault.
Dude,
he's done a lot.
If you watch,
there's a new series where it's not new. It's a couple years old where he played a psychiatrist for a serial killer, and he holds him hostage.
I saw that. Isn't it Paul Rudd?
No. It's the serial killer is a random guy, but he's a good comedian also, Paul Rudd.
He's funny. He's a comedic actor.
He's a comedic actor. He doesn't do stand-up, but
I think he's done some improv, and he might write a little. I know he works a lot with the improv funny types a lot, but that might be he can hang with them.
Yeah. SNL is really good with their improv, but the actors they pick are dog shit.
There's
Shane Gillis is saving that show right now.
There's no improv on SNL, and it's one of their issues. One of their issues. Okay, so if
it's all scripted. I thought a lot of it was improv.
100% scripted. If you go off, you might never come on again.
Really?
If you say the F word and you're
like, it's all staged live though. So
it's live. So the mess ups are typically real, and then some of the actors are bullshitting when they laugh a lot. But the laughs. That's what they want from same thing with Raw. But with Raw, that should be improv. That's how wrestling's done.
Yeah.
It's also not. Like, the commentators are getting cussed out live by Vince. It's probably different now because Vince is supposedly gone. But, yeah, SNL and Raw have the same problems. An old guy from the 70s and 80s is still running it and wants complete control and wants to expand it and turn it into fucking Sesame Street for the entire world that lasts 3 hours and has every ad known to man in it, and he has complete control over every syllable. There's people on Raw who got over on the internet, like got fans, as so to speak, and got fucked on the show deliberately because they'll give you the people in charge what they want. I have fans that'll buy my merch and will come to see me on the show. You're welcome, and they go fuck you.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens with SNL, where if there's a fan favorite, sometimes they get buried. due to weird politics shit. Key and
Which is
Peele.
crazy. You would think the most sought after actor on the show should be getting the
Yeah.
spotlight.
Mad TV and Key and Peele are.
But they don't want it to be about the actor. They want it to be about the show.
Yeah, SNL can be as good as it ever was, same as Raw, on like a good night. But there's just consistent issues you see there. There's certain actors that when they go on SNL's pretty decent. Because the host does have some say. There's a ritual beforehand that doesn't mean a whole lot. None of the skits are real. It's to read the host and to see how the host reacts to bullshit, basically.
Right.
But they pitch bullshit.
Hell, they had Elon on there.
Yeah.
There's been a ton of people.
So the thing I don't like about SNL is if you're going to be somebody, be that thing. And
Right.
SNL was kind of a corporate sellout. Lorne Michaels, just pet bullshit. So if you're going to be critical of Trump and Elon, you can't have these bits where we knew, but not every publication was yelling it as loudly. You have to be an identity. They're too much of a committee of people, and when you look at that committee, they don't look good. Especially when you hear things like Giannis Pappas had a character he did on the internet with a whole catchphrase and everything. That character popped up whole cloth in a skit with the catchphrase and everything recently on SNL. And if you look at them in that light, you just see I see upper middle class office worker types that should be watching Stranger Things and talking to each other about it at the fucking water cooler. Yeah, you can be goofy. And the thing is, you also get annoyed when you find out that the writers aren't on screen. Those aren't all the writers. Some of them are, but there's a whole team of writers you don't get to see.
Right.
So these guys are just the ones that are good at saying the fucking lines, being cute.
Right.
These are the cute ones.
They're
We have
stage
ones that
props
aren't
almost.
cute, that actually know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
But we're not going to put them on because we can't put them in ads for dandruff shampoo.
Right. Which is crazy.
But I've ranted a bit. I got a hat that says rambling. 'cause I
Yeah,
do
dude,
that.
you're a rambling man.
I smoke weed and I have ADHD.
I'm interested in
undiagnosed.
what you have to say. I mean, everything you've said was interesting there.
Well,
I mean, you
ramble.
make a lot of sense. Yeah.
I try to. I feel like an asshole when I do it on my show because I've got so many guests. But something I'm going to steer away from here on out is these nonsense bullshit questions because they're impossible to answer. I'm putting all the weight on the guest.
A lot of them are very randomized.
They're very funny
interesting.
to ask.
We've had some fun conversations on the show.
Not everyone has the same reaction, I imagine, to watching it, but my favorite parts of the show so far is when a bit or a question gets the legit response it should, and if that legit response happened in a fictional show, you would laugh.
Right.
When someone bombs with a certain thing and they make a certain face or noise that someone else does, and you would laugh in a sitcom, I think you should laugh the same at the live show, but a lot of people even explicitly kind of disagree. Will say that the vibe it, meet it with a different feeling.
Yeah. One of the things I've noticed about doing the show live there is a lot of people in the crowd like to chime in, and it kind of throws off the show a little bit.
So that's one of the reasons I'm going to have to be mean is there's no real consequences.
Yeah, he'll shut that shit down pretty quick. He's like, if you're not up here on the stage, you need to shut the fuck up.
A comedian's job, to some degree.
Right.
You have to,
but you don't want to push out the people that are coming in to watch either, because it's a select amount.
I'm of two minds about crowd work and heckling and guards at shows. Security at shows. On one mind, heckle responses and crowd work are great for comedians to put material out that isn't their money material that they need to be paid for at a not pay-per-view but a special, which used to be pay-per-views. They need that material. That's one of the issues we had with the podcast. I was like, I don't want to do Kill Tony because I can't expect people who are trying to maybe get paid in Central Illinois for comedy to do all their Jonathan Reed Davis comes out. He's very funny.
He's been on the show.
But a lot of times he's just a guest and we cut in the middle for an ad because we can't show what he's doing. He's got to get paid for that later.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons I kind of really want that open mic bit to open up into fucking weirdos. I want weirdos to come on and do whatever they want.
Yeah. Like Kyle the other day when he came on. Oh my God, dude. His fucking dude.
Name drop.
Yeah, well, I
So-
didn't use his full name. I mean, if people have watched and they know who Kyle is, and the set that he did
And it
was
turned out a lot of people
very out there.
A lot of people knew Kyle. I talked about it a little bit later to talk about what was going on in my podcast because
You can tighten that up if you want. There's
I
there's
kind of like fidgeting.
yeah,
with it,
no,
but
you're
I'll-
fine. I noticed you don't have to. I just noticed that it's like all over the place.
I have to fidget. I'm a fidgeter.
That's okay.
It's
I try to keep stuff like that here on the table. People can like use and move their hands around, but they're not. Nothing's in here right now.
that's fine. Yeah, I've got my cigarette and then I've got this
Cigarette.
I'm gonna say I would stick with these.
Yeah, no, a lot of
Mics.
people know him. It's which is crazy.
But yeah, Mike.
he is very popular around here.
Kyle. I found out a lot of people knew him and knew of his stories that he let on. Yeah, we had a guest come on the show, and he came up. He had been there before, and he didn't go up. I don't know. He did go up, and he kind of just said like a weird sex joke, and there's too many kids in the audience at the time, so it didn't do well. Um,
Yeah, I got some pretty vulgar jokes that I just feel like I can't do there.
Yeah, it's a hard room. Everyone that's been there that's done stand up before goes, "This is a weird room," and a lot of them don't come back, and I get it. It's got to become a different show to some extent.
Yeah.
Because it's just not. We don't have open mic. We did. I saw someone posted they had an award from a local open mic from like 2003 or 2005 or something. So there's been here, but it's not ever big. It's not. We're not. We are in a red county, and we're in a corn farming town. We're in a college town. You wouldn't know it
Yeah.
because of this generation.
Yeah.
They don't go outside or do nothing.
The only time you see the college kids is at the depot. Don's place. It's, name dropping bars in town, but yeah, that's where they are. They're at the bars.
They're at the bars.
That's it. If they leave the college campus, they're either at some kind of restaurant or a bar.
Any subject you want to hit? Because I feel like I've rambled without control. I've lost.
No, dude. That's what this show's for. It's about you. Your interview. It's you. I got plenty of stuff pulled up that we can funny videos that we can talk about.
Hey, it ain't even been an hour yet. So we
No,
can get to that.
we've only been in here for about 40 minutes. It looks like so. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I gave you my top 5.
Yeah.
Comics,
Great
top 5
comedians. I mean, there's so many.
musicians, films.
Oh, I love movies.
I grew up a movie kid.
Me too.
And I've seen maybe.
Shout out to
two-
my grandpa Artie. We would sit and watch action movies and comedies for fucking days.
I've seen
All we did.
maybe over 1,500 movies. I
Me too.
can't
At least.
remember. I know for a fact that I've seen there's a website called Flickchart. It'll put 2 movie posters in front of you, and you have to pick which one
Ooh.
is better. And you can say
I like that.
Yeah, let's play
Let's pull that
Flickchart.
up.
It's real
Yeah,
simple.
dude.
You're gonna have to get your email and shit out of the goddamn screen. But
That's okay. We'll pull it off to the side.
there you
Flick.
go. That's fancy. 2 screens. You're like Batman.
Yeah, dude. I tried to have a third, but it wouldn't work. I got to get my tech guy over here to fucking help me out.
But for
We're gonna get a
movies,
third screen over here, and that'll be our new.
I gotta say, underrated. Tremors 2 Aftershocks is a comfort movie for me, and I haven't been able to watch it recently. It's not on any. I don't have the streaming that it's on, and I don't want to rent it. But the Tremors movies are decent if you watch 1 through 4. After that, it's a bit fucky, I think.
I think I've only seen the first and the second one. It's been a
Second
long
one
time.
is a personal favorite because it's kind of like fishing for sharks in a truck in Mexico, and it's also only Mexicans die in it, which is crazy. But there's a bunch of I watched a lot of 90s monster movies as a kid, like Men in Black, Tremors, Jurassic Park, Mummy. I watched a lot of that stuff as like a 5-year-old. And a 4-year-old. I would climb out of the crib at 3. This sounds like bragging. I got some. Let me do my things that don't sound believable. I got like 3. At 3, I would climb out of my crib in the morning without help and just set the the VCR up and watch whatever they were watching. That fucked me up twice. One time I turned on Lethal Weapon and a lady with her tits out jumped out of a balcony and killed herself, and I ran away. I turned it off and ran away. And another time in a guest room, I remember this. It was Terminator 2, and he cut his arm and slid it off.
Oh
and it
man,
freaked the
so
fuck out.
badass. The best Terminator, honestly.
But I got to the point that I was desensitized to violence because of television, as Jim Carrey Grinch said. And then as a kid, at recess, I was relatively popular because I would just have us play a movie I saw. For a year, I went to the Columbus school where the murders didn't get solved, and that school is almost all black. Me and my brother were the only white kids. There was 2 twin girls that were albino. We were the only white kids. My little brother got the shit beaten out of him, and I was fought over like this by the wrists.
Oh fuck, dude! They're trying to tear you in half.
They wanted me. They wanted the funny white kid. So I would act black, or I would act like movies they saw.
Hell yeah,
But
dude.
bragging things. Oh, I'm a reverend. I'm a reverend and a doctor through the Universal Life Church. I don't have the paper. It costs like $25 to get the paper, but I did the email, so I have it. I
So
have an
you can
honorary.
like marry people.
I can marry people.
Nice.
I want to do ribbon cutting ceremonies with big scissors.
Ooh,
That's what I
that would
wanna
be
use it
so
for.
dope.
Dr. Daniel Dean Tabor, DDTDD, Daniel Dean Tabor, Doctorate of Divinity, something like that. So I'm
That's
a reverend
awesome.
and a doctor, and also I've had like 20 jobs, but I was part of a pyramid scheme that deregulated your power bill, your energy, which deregulation, hint hint, always bad or a scam. It's always a scam. If
A
someone
cash grab.
if someone spent that much money getting nerds to count the numbers, it's because bad shit happens when you don't know the numbers.
Right.
Or bad shit happens when you turned off the fucking, the ohms on the fucking energy, whatever they were talking about. So that was a scam, but I made $100 out of it. I got $100 profit. There's a bit in cons and scams. It might be called The Prestige. I'm not sure. No, there's a movie called The Prestige that I like. It's the only Nolan movie I like, and it's got Bowie in it. But as Tesla. But in any con or magic trick or scam or what have you, you have the prestige where it proves itself to you. So in a magic trick, it's like my sleeves are up.
Right.
You can see. But in a con, I need to prove you have what you get out of the con. So if I'm saying you're going to make money, I got to give you some money. It has to be a profit from your investment so far.
Right.
So old Dwayne with the deregulator guys, I would drive around in his van and bother people. I saw some wild shit at people's places. People fucking and coming out and thinking we were cops. People that just have like naked kids and don't care. That weird shit. People thought I was that we were cops and feds and shit. But there's a bit where you have to make your money back. I'd put $100 in for my account, and then he made me exactly $200 from what I had done that week, calling in and putting in the codes, and then I'd called him. I texted him. I was like, "It ain't for me." I spent the money on clothes and a wrestling DVD.
Hell yeah.
That's my bragging stuff. Oh, also I was almost a member of a band that was gonna sound like Leonard Skinner, but I was gonna do an Eddie Vedder voice over it. I was gonna sing in a band. I've been offered to be the lead singer of a band 2 or 3 times. It hasn't fell through.
There's a
But
lot of bands in town looking for
there's
vocalists.
lots of bands.
Yeah, dude. And you
But,
have the perfect place at Pizza Records to perform, so.
Yeah, I've been working on larger. I have one larger idea that's too big right now. I'm about to pitch it to 2 other guys associated with Pizza Records. But basically, I'm hoping one will screenwrite for me and one will storyboard for me, because I'm not too good at either of those, but I have the idea. I'm a good idea guy. I'm a good idea guy, and I'm a good guy at pulling people together. A lot of the show so far has been just what falls in my lap. I haven't been good about pushing it. I didn't even have social media for a portion of it. I hate social media.
Yeah,
I react
it's brain
poorly.
rot.
I react poorly to it. My brain rots violently. I start threatening elderly
I'm
women.
constantly on there promoting.
That's good.
That's all
good.
I do anymore.
That's what I need to do, but I'm not. I don't have enough going.
Well, don't
on.
worry, I'm promoting the shit out of your show every day.
I've noticed I've been sharing it on my one social media. I need to
Yeah.
make I think I'm going to make an Instagram.
You should.
I'm going to make an Instagram, and I've got a plot shit set up for PRL. I'm wondering about my character. That's another thing that I'm finding that one of the reasons I like Bowie. The ADHD, a lot of those people have identity issues, and they think they have all these other mental disorders.
Right, that Heath Ledger Joker mentality, where you almost become your character. I have that myself with Gonzo. Gonzo, like, nobody calls me Tyler. I'm Gonzo to everybody.
You want to know some?
And that's
crazy
who I
shit?
am,
In the 5th grade, I was Jack Sparrow.
Oh gosh, I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt.
In first grade, I was Burt Gummer from Tremors. In 3rd grade, I was Ash from Evil Dead, or Army of Darkness at the time.
Hell yeah.
I played characters to go to school. I
Fuck
couldn't
yeah.
be me. And I always wanted to dress like this. Mom would put me, because it was Mississippi, she'd put me in shorts and a t-shirt and I hated it. I wanted to be dressed like Van
You're a jean
Helsing.
guy?
I'm a
Slacks?
I was wearing denim jeans, and the wife said, if you're wearing that, you should go with the Dickies again. And so
Hell
I did.
yeah. I love
It is-
Dickies, man. You gotta
they're
fucking, they're
dope.
clean
I've been
jeans.
trying to. Yeah, I need to.
I used to wear all one color, button up with the jeans. I had an orange pair,
Yes.
purple, green,
You
yellow,
inspired-
red. I love Dickies. I will wear the suits all day.
You inspired me to start dressing the way I just want to dress, like the glasses and shit.
Hell yeah.
Like people can handle.
I love
It'll be
that.
fine.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is my vibe. I am
You're killing it right now. I love it.
Politically paranoid, mild criminal that gives off questionable vibes.
You give off like porn director vibe right now.
Oh yeah, especially okay. So like I have
But
the hat.
You do have the Hunter S. Thompson kind of look at the
So
same time.
what I see is Dale from King of the Hill.
Oh yeah.
And anytime I see this, I think paranoid about the government, smokes cigarettes.
You can think a lot of different
too
things.
confident for his size. I think of Dale basically. But when I do this, suddenly, I don't know if you get
Now
it,
you look like a
can.
rock star.
Yeah, it's suddenly a bit more of a it's less ironic, and if it's gonna be creepy, it's more explicitly real creepy.
Right.
Right? Whereas this is a bit more cartoon, and I like that.
Yeah.
But either one is fine.
The hat
because
is awesome.
For normies and
Normies. I just started using that word
normies
yesterday.
and conservative types, like I don't want to be like an emo or like an LGBT ally. I don't want to look like somebody else, like a group.
Right.
But I do want
individuality is
I want my
is a good thing.
individuality, and I specifically want it from
Everybody on the
people-
planet is different.
people I hate.
You should speculate on that. You know that you're a unique person. You're one of a kind. Nobody can replicate you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
the
It's never gonna
identity-
happen. There will never be another Daniel or another Gonzo
For
or
sure.
another Arnold. You know, like, we're very unique
I think I'm trying to
down to the
exercise-
fucking finest details.
I'm trying to exercise the muscle to be funny, and finding that it takes 4 or 5 years to even stop bombing as a comic, and they say it takes 2 or 3 to find your voice.
Hell yeah.
And
I
haven't
felt I've done pretty good with my comedy. Just starting out, like
right.
very good. And I
You
have
do-
bombed
yeah.
a couple times. Some of my jokes haven't landed.
Some nights you're just gonna bomb at pizza.
Yeah,
Records.
and that's fine, dude. You
Everyone
have
does, but,
you have famous comedians who are bombing literally right now. Bye.
I was gonna say something, but I do that too. Yeah, for finding an identity and a voice is always been on like my mind, and for someone who thought about it their entire life, I'm not as behind as most people, but for what I'm wanting to do, I'm certainly behind, because when I see you, I think of, and there's kids I went to school with even as early as kindergarten that had your same energy. You're a type of dude, and you're not always in the same room. You're rarely in the same room as the other yous. But there are types of dudes. Even now, what happens when you have two of the same type of dude is you find out, like, that's a show. That's the point.
Right.
There's other guys that rap and have tattoos.
I go through mood swings, man. I'm a Scorpio, so like I'm a hobbyist. I really am. Like
You're a
I
woman?
can't. No. that's not what I mean. Like I have so many hobbies.
Yeah.
And it's ADHD brain.
I was fucking with you.
No, yeah.
Horoscopes is woman
forget,
shit.
I forget that that's actually a fucking thing, a hobbyist.
Yeah, right.
But no, I just have so many like
a polymath. You know
different avenues that I just want to travel down. And at first, I just thought it was a music thing. I just wanted to be an artist, a musician,
And
a rapper.
That's what's going to put you above anyone that might be in a type according to someone else's. If you're
Comedy, dude, is
doing
my
everything.
thing.
Yes.
This podcast means everything to me. I love doing this more than I love comedy. I love this more than I love doing music, and I don't know why. And
Yeah.
I think it's just because I've always been a people person, And I get along with people a lot. I'm an extrovert. I really am. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people that rub me the wrong way that I cannot sit with.
yeah.
That I cannot mingle with at all.
And I've seen that. I've seen you tell people, not you.
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
that.
And I can't help that.
I
you know?
have issues with that. I got a guy, one of my big things, because it's not a joke or a game to me, it's like, it's fucking my life right now, is politics. Like, my wife's education and career both got back, like, thousands of dollars and possibly years that were held back just since the election, because of policies enacted on things that we use to live.
Right.
And not just to live, but to make money. Things we use to be the productive member of society that they like
Right.
to pretend everyone else isn't. Um, but like my thing is like trying to have a space where I don't have a fucking Nazi lingering. I don't care for it. It's the same thing to me as a pedophile. You're probably going to do the same shit once you get that a level of authority. It's a real thing to me. It's becoming real. It will
For
always,
sure.
there's
Power plays.
There's something called the Milgram experiment that demonstrated that middle Americans would just keep hitting. If an authority figure said you have to, they would keep hitting switches until an elderly guy got electrocuted to death.
Holy fuck.
If you have it that simple, where it's like you flip that switch, he's sweating and crying and begging you and
To
begging
stop.
the researchers. I got heart issues. I didn't know it was zapping when I came in. I didn't know it was going to get this bad. Get me out of the chair. They've done it throughout the years since they first did it in the 50s or 60s. I think the 60s. They've done it again over and over, and they get the same results. It's not that many people that say no.
Right.
So, and it's going to be the same thing. My wife has a Bernie tattoo. I'm killing me and my wife if this is real. So I did mushrooms with the wife, and I told her, I was like, every week I'm putting my political beliefs kind of explicitly out, even just because I'm me and I can't not.
Right.
Local sheriffs and shit, if they pull us over.
Oh, I've already said this before. I mean, I've had some criminals on my show already.
Yeah.
Friends of mine. A lot of us are
Yeah.
black sheep, and they've said some pretty wild shit, and I would be dumb to not think that JPD, Quincy Police Department, Beardstown Police Department, they have all watched the show before.
But listen to my
That's fine.
Listen to my
I'm not a
paranoia.
criminal, I'm an entertainer. I'm an entertainer. I
This is
do
all satire.
entertainment. I love it. That is what I want to do. I don't want to do criminal activities. I want to find a legal avenue that I can revenue on.
This is
it.
all satire.
Right.
Here's my paranoid thing. It gets worse, right? It's not gay American hairdressers who look Mexican with foreign parents getting grabbed and sent to El Salvador because they might be a member of Venezuela's Tren de Aragua, and then a minister from Venezuela's like none of them were. It's going to move on from that a little bit, and there's going to be people who made posts or were members of certain groups in high school and college that are going to be certainly on suddenly on registries. We already have secret police right now, feds in plainclothes that approach you and pull their badges out after they've grabbed you. But there's also, like, there was camo dudes in black SUVs that black bagged people in Portland during the BLM COVID style riots. That we don't know what branch they were for. They
During
maced,
George Floyd and all that.
yeah,
Yep.
they maced and broke the hand of a Marine veteran that asked them who they were and why they were there. Like, what branch are you with?
Right.
And they could have answered, they
Could have said we're law enforcement.
they could have said anything.
And at that point, you're like, okay, well, what the fuck's going on?
And they black bagged and collected like the identity info on anyone. They just grabbed them, put them in the SUV, got their fingerprints, got like all their personal shit.
What in
shit,
the fuck? If
and
we
threw
do that,
them
that's
out.
kidnapping. If you
So-
move a person forcibly 5 feet,
What?
that is kidnapping.
Yeah, but your constitutional rights aren't being upheld. Constitutionally, the Doge could not go into, I can't remember, it wasn't the Department of Education, but it was a different building that constitutionally it's illegal for Doge and Elon Musk to go into. And they were coming in, and so the people in there called the local police and said, you have to do this. It's a literal crime for them to be here. And the police came and removed them, not Elon Musk and Doge. So what we have going on is the real deal, and I said this 10 years ago. Like, everything everyone said 10 years ago in 2015 has turned out to be true about the current administration, about Russia, about Ukraine. If I can say something right now, it's pretty quick, but
Say anything.
it's politics shit. There was a $950 million deal between Russia and ExxonMobil that was supposed to fall through. It couldn't because of Obama-era trade sanctions to keep Russia from economically, financially being able to invade Ukraine, because they're our trade partner, and they were going to be a member of NATO, but it hadn't happened yet. There's certain things that go into being NATO that you trade off, how much can you contribute and shit like
Right.
that. So they weren't a member of NATO yet, and he was protecting them that way. Donald Trump's Secretary of State, I believe Secretary of State, he was Secretary of something, I believe State, was Rex Tillerson, CEO of ExxonMobil. He dropped out of that. You're supposed to drop out of everything when you enter the cabinet.
Yep.
Trump put his into blind trusts with his own children,
Right,
and then
yeah.
gave those children jobs
And
anyway.
he almost got Well, go ahead. I'm listening.
He almost gets everything because he's certainly done everything. There's
Yeah.
not really a lot of crimes. A lot of people say he was accused of everything before running.
Right.
Like he's been convicted of everything before running. Defrauding a children's cancer charity, refusing to rent to black tenants, things like that.
Right. Which is crazy. I haven't heard that. That's wild.
Trump comes out and starts saying that the trade sanctions on Russia aren't good. He wins. He's got that Secretary of State. Trade sanctions on Russia removed. Russia holds off until I believe he's out of office before they invade Ukraine. So ExxonMobil has its deal with Russia. Russia gets to invade Ukraine. He, because they waited until Biden was out of office, can claim that Biden caused World War III. And then he comes in and he sides, obviously, with Russia. People were saying that this was the case in 2015.
Yeah, because Trump and Putin
Everything's
were friends
happened.
before.
Yes, everything. And he
And if anybody could stop what's going on over there right now, it would be Trump telling Putin, hey, you got to stop this shit.
like Obama.
And they have ceased-fired over the Black Sea. My guy, David, he was just on here the other day. He was talking about it.
It's important to remember that Russia, it shouldn't have taken this long, and they didn't think it was going to take this long, and they panicked the night of the invasion and opened and closed their markets for the oligarchs to be able to pull out some of their money, but not all of them, because we need fucking money.
Right.
So they kept opening and closing it. Nothing went the way they wanted it to. Oh, and just recently, someone who was anti-Russia and was part of the previous administration, a young woman, young blonde. I was at work. I saw it today, but she died at like 46, and she looked very healthy. She was anti-Russian as like a judge or something to that effect, and we don't know how she's dead yet. But everyone's fucking paranoid as shit because who does Trump like? He likes Putin. Putin has dudes put uranium in tea. That's a bad death.
Yeah, look at fucking...
Do you want... So you have to either, in front of your family, while glowing red, tell the doctors, don't help, and if you can, kill me. Or over the course of possibly 90 days, rot to death on a molecular level, I believe. That's what happens if you touch fucking uranium.
Right.
So that's the kind of shit Putin likes to do,
It's
and
cancer.
Trump loves him. Yeah.
It's literal cancer at its
worse.
highest rate.
You don't develop more. It's not confusing one cell into developing too much. All of them slowly die, and like you turn into goo alive.
Right.
Melt.
You're melting, basically.
The bones melt.
Yeah.
Everything's equally
You're turning into a liquid.
You turn gray, and your vitals just decrease like a fucking video game. You just melt.
And we obviously haven't learned anything from fucking 3 Mile Island or what's the other spot in Russia? Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Have we not learned anything from fucking nuclear reactors being a bad thing? It's crazy.
Nuclear apocalypse is something we can't put past the people in control.
Nope.
Here's another movie, another
big
comedy,
red button. Boom.
Another big comedy movie that people reference, but not a lot of people actually have seen anymore, and it's some of the driest, most absurd satire is Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Stanley Kubrick wanted to make a movie about America's fail-safe nuclear program where if something goes wrong, it just launches. But then Failsafe, the movie.
I haven't seen any of these.
I haven't seen Failsafe. Failsafe.
I haven't even seen Oppenheimer.
With Peter.
And I'm slacking.
Fucking his son was the devil in Ghost Rider. I can't remember, but
Failsafe
was going to come out, and it was the same plot. So Stanley Kubrick went back and realized so much of the fucking dumbass American failsafe shit I read was funny as hell. So he made it a legit black and white comedy satire thing. But in the end, the oligarchs and the president and everyone in the war room
shut it down.
No, they realize it doesn't matter. Everything's getting nuked because we have bunkers, large bunkers that we can live in forever, and we can create a new population with we just have to make sure we've rounded up enough teenage girls. So, but that's the one that ends with
God, could you imagine?
Slim Pickens.
Have you ever seen Cloverfield, the second one? Cloverfield Lane.
I haven't seen any of those.
Wow.
No,
that is a great...
There's certain things I just didn't look at, like Avatar.
The first Cloverfield is a great found footage film. I highly recommend it. The second one, It features the guy from Roseanne. What's his name? John. Big guy. John.
John Goodman.
John
Yeah,
Goodman.
Yeah, I know of the movie.
Wow, I don't want to spoil it, but they live in a bunker for that movie. You have to
Yeah.
watch it. That's I highly recommend it. Before you leave, I'll show you. I have the movie poster in my it came from a movie Destination Toys actually. Shout out to Mark Medley,
Nice.
Destination Toys. He gave me this Cloverfield Lane poster, and it's fucking badass, dude. It's a great movie.
I should shout out.
Bunkers are no way to live.
No, not in actuality.
That is
unless
no
you're-
way to sustain human life. We are not built to be fucking stuck
a new-
indoors.
Hey, new arc for me. I'll drop whatever. Real quick, I want to shout out
Shout out whoever.
Spencer at Pizza Records.
He's a great artist.
Spencer Newman. Great
He'll be on the
artist.
show soon.
I shout out Jonathan Reed Davis. I want to shout out
Hell
Spencer
yeah,
Newman.
John's
He
been on the
helps
show.
a lot, and he helps with everything we do. And I want to shout out a bunch of people involved with a few of our projects, like Zach Goggins.
Hell yeah.
He's awesome.
Goggins with the news. He's a good guy.
Mercedes De Silva, Crystal Rain, she goes by.
Yep, she's on the TV show that they're
Michael
for the record.
Kyle. Yeah,
Shout out to Annie Grav.
Anti-Grav.
Yep.
Michael Kyle.
And
Brooke.
KM.
Brooke. Browstar.
I can't
Bruce
pronounce
Howard?
his name.
Yeah, he's got a weird
He's a
last
really
name.
he's done a lot of good like heavy metal shows.
Bearded
He-
drummer
that-
man.
that's my
always
jam.
Busy.
He's the
That's
one that
my
made the
jam.
peanut butter company.
Peanut butter
Yep.
jelly.
Yep.
But
A lot of good people.
Lily,
A lot of good people doing work out here in the Ville, man. Like we really have a market here.
Scott Rogers,
Scott Rogers, yep. He's
We got
always at the comedy shows. He's there
Angel-
for every episode.
Angel Ruiz,
Louis Angel Ventura.
Ventura.
Yes.
Son of a bitch, I forgot his name was Ventura.
Great
That's
artist.
cool.
We've done 4 songs together.
Have you-
He's been on the show.
Have
I
you
love
ever-
that guy. We're working on an album together right now.
Hell yeah.
Have you ever heard of Jesse the Body Ventura? Because that's another. How about we do a quick impressions?
Oh
my
god.
Because we ramble quite a bit because we don't want to end up on the grid where they can find us.
I can do a Bill
So-
Cosby.
You can go-
Putting pop, will drop a pill in your breakfast drink.
That's about as good as an impression I can do.
You ever seen the episode where he roofies the
It's my
family?
barbecue sauce. Yeah,
Have you
it's the barbecue sauce.
You seen it?
Yes, I've seen it.
Uh,
Yeah. That one's fucking ate up. It's my
Now,
barbecue sauce.
there's
You see how
one-
they get all fuzzy feeling, you know? Yeah.
Listen, there's one I've been working on for quite some time.
You want another
Yeah, I'll take another one. It helps with the voice.
one? Who's this?
But what I'm trying to do, can you tell what I'm trying to do? Can
It's
you hear
old
it?
timey.
Well, I'm really hoping that over time you can tell what voice I'm doing.
Morgan Freeman.
Thank you very much. Can you name anyone else in your personal life that even closely has a Morgan Freeman?
No.
Thank you much.
He's got a very unique voice. God, him playing God and Bruce Almighty.
He also-
Wow, what a role.
He also grew up in Bruce. He also grew up in Mississippi. So that's one of the reasons I find that one. I don't have to learn how he talks as much.
Right.
I can
Because you're
kinda
kind of
hear him.
familiar with the accents already.
Yeah, people talk like that a little. Then there's one I've been trying to do, Tommy Lee Jones. I've been trying really hard.
Wow.
I've been trying really hard to nail this one for some time. You know, it's usually at its best when I'm short with it. I kind of have a staccato, but it's really hard. It's like, I'm trying to think of Men in Black shit he said.
Oh my God, what a movie. Great movies.
Honey, that's my pie. I can't, and it's hard to do. When you're 40, your voice moves where it needs to be and you get your most range. So at 30, I'm hoping to get 10 years of practice on these two that I haven't been able to hit until now. And then at 40, my
This is
Tommy
factual
Lee-
when it comes to voices?
Yeah, for a man, I think for anyone. Robert
So your
Downey
tone
Jr.
changes, right? I
When
mean,
Robert Downey Jr. talked about doing Sherlock Holmes, he said for doing accents with confidence, he said when you turn 40, your voice hits its not necessarily lowest, but it's at its best for voice work. It has range of depth and height, possibly.
right.
But yeah, I'm hoping to get more. I know I have more impressions. Oh yeah.
This place sucks.
Are you two boys whacking it in my tool shed? Now, I know that you want to be the boys that whacked it in my tool shed, but you have to understand how people at school will see that.
It's crazy that the angry neighbor from
Tom Anderson.
from Beavis and Butthead ends up becoming Hank Hill.
Yep.
And I cannot wait for the reboot where they're adults, or where Bobby's an adult.
Yeah.
God, it's going to be so good. I can't wait. That was a very spot on one. I think that's your most spot on, is the Hank Hill.
My voice is already like Mike Judgy.
Can you do Dale?
No, he's a different guy. A different
Yeah, it's kinda
voice.
hard.
He's a different voice.
Pocket full of
actor,
sand.
But pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
I'm not too versatile. There's a few I can do, but I think my favorite is Arnold. I like to present.
You're very good with Arnold.
I like to humanize him and make him into an Austrian man who came over here and made all of his dreams come true. And he worked hard. He was also one of the things I love so much about Arnold, despite the fact that he was a Republican governor for California. He once this stuff started happening and January 6th broke out, he educated the public.
The J6ers.
He talked about it on his social media, talked about the Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass. So what that was they went out and they attacked all of the Jewish stores and broke all the glass.
In Australia?
In Austria.
Austria.
No, he's Austrian and so is Hitler, but this happened in Germany.
Really?
I was talking about that. That's what happened with the Nazis.
I didn't know that Hitler was...
The brown shirts did exactly what Gen 6s do. They did it all as well at elections. They were called brown shirts. But also, there's something else to know about is the Night of Long Knives. So the Nazi Party, National Socialist Party, was legitimately a German workers' party for a kind of a legitimate socialism where there's not necessarily a welfare state. He can't say these words either. Salala level. But it's not necessarily a welfare state, but the idea that the worker is owed an amount that is equal to them owning the rights of production, as opposed to the owner and the shareholders owning it over them and them getting a wage. So this was a movement to help the laborer, but the Strasses and the Strasserites, the true socialists over time, were this is going to be fun for people. The true socialists over time were outnumbered by the racists who are taking on the beliefs of Werner. No, he did Flight of the Valkyries. He was a great composer, but a lot of his beliefs about the German people and the Jews would go on to later inspire World War I veterans to become bitter and blame the Jews and say that we are Siegfried who slayed Fafnir, and we all these crazy German. The Nazis were on meth and believed that they were descended from all these things that were completely opposed to one another and didn't exist. They thought they were. Atlantis is a political idea by Plato to mock things he didn't like, and they thought they were from Atlantis. But anyway, on the Night of Long Knives, they killed all of the socialists, and that it was only the racist nationalists that wanted to do the genocide. And so look out, because we're in the right country right now to watch. Like I said, local types in the red county could pull you over and look at you and go no, and you don't know what you're gonna get sent to. What's your deal? Do you just get sent to prison and you shouldn't have, or do they have camps? Are the camps here, or are the camps in another country like El Salvador?
Walmarts.
Yeah, just
allegedly Walmarts are gonna be camps eventually, because there's so many in so many towns. No. Every town has a Dollar General.
I think that's
or
a
Walmart.
FEMA thing, and people like to vilify FEMA, but FEMA just got undone by the bad guys because they legit are trying to help. Like, they have to bury all the dead, they have to house all the unhoused, they have to feed everyone, they have to put the power back up if the National Guard can't do it. FEMA's a real thing. I remember going to a friend's house when I was like 21. It was during the first Trump election. And there was so much bullshit on the internet, especially Russian bullshit. They were trying to tell me that Russia had a better military. Russia's number 3. Russia sucks and has no money and didn't for a long time. We're giving them money because we're becoming Russia. We fucking lost. But they showed me this thing where FEMA had this field, and then they had these big biodegradable boxes, and it looked like it would be a graveyard. And it's like, oh yeah, if an F5 takes out Dallas, they're gonna have to bury some fucking people. You can't send them to the morgue. We couldn't send them to the morgue during COVID. We had to put them in ice cream trucks like Italy did.
Big refrigerators. Just keep them stiff.
Just keep them cold for a while.
It's crazy to think. It's crazy to think that while the whole world is doing their own thing, I mean, we're sitting here, we're doing this interview. Right now, people in Ukraine are fucking killing each other. It's insane. People in Israel are being slaughtered.
Russians are shooting.
Afghanistan. I mean, people all over the world are fighting right now.
Russians are shooting civilian women in the head and pulling the fillings out of their teeth, just like the Nazis did during World War II. The Japanese were actually the terrifying ones during World War II.
Oh yeah,
The
they
Nazis,
chop your head off, play fucking dodgeball with it.
The rape of Nanking, which is a city. There was a Nazi posted there, and now he has statues there, and people are like, "Why is there a Nazi statue at the goddamn Chinese places on the shore?" And it's because the Japanese landed there during World War II, and they were so fucking horrible to families and women and children and forcing them to do stuff to each other that was so horrible and unspeakable. And this Nazi guy who was, allied with the Japanese went out like Batman and just started beating the shit. He like mailed the telegraph back to Germany, fuck these fucking guys, they're not what we thought, and just started beating the shit out of these Japanese, because he's German, he's like 6'3". These guys,
Right.
Japanese guys aren't. So, and also he's got a cush position where he's stationed in somewhere else in an office, and these guys got off a boat, so they haven't been eating. So he's just beating the shit out of Japanese guys, saving women and children, but
Fuck
it wasn't
yeah.
enough. They still wiped that city out. They beheaded all the men, and then it was like sex crimes and cannibalism was forced to be done to all by family member of any sort to family member in any sort at gunpoint.
It's fucking heinous.
They were like-
It's unforgivable. All those people are probably burning in hell as we speak.
And then with Israel, that shit, they're trying to. This is legit dangerous right now for us to
Oh,
say
yeah.
anything criticizing Israel.
Oh yeah.
And they'll say that we're the Nazis because, well, that's the Jewish, but that's a very fascist, corporatist, and evangelical belief that the Jews must hold the Holy Land and keep off the less popular of the Abrahamic faith, the Muslim, the youngest, the Muslim. The Christians,
Yeah.
the Jews have a long history together where.
And see, I'm
Christians-
very uneducated on all this shit because, I'm a pop culture guy, and I just believe in right and wrong, and this is where these problems, this is where the violence stems from.
Yes.
Poverty and hunger.
And manipulation from those
For
above
sure.
that
People want
profit.
power. The wrong people have power, and that's just, we're never going to see a standstill on any of this shit. It's just going to move from one location to the next.
I got over
When it ends in one place, it starts in another. It's been this way forever.
Yeah, and feudalism.
They're like, all right, they finally calmed down. Now it's our turn. Let's go fucking fuck these people up. Let's take their shit. It's weird how it works.
Yeah,
It's all a cash grab. It's so crazy to me that war is profitable. You're putting money in the weapons that you use and wear down, and it makes fucking money. I just don't understand it. I don't.
The war thing really is like no one who's doing it. So the American military has an over 99.5% civilian kill rate. And that's according to whistleblowers we prosecuted.
So
for
they're
telling the
doubling
truth.
up, almost.
No, almost 100% of the people our military kills are innocent, normal people. Almost all. Almost, and that goes for England as well, especially in Afghanistan and Iraq. It was almost all civilian. We killed 642,000 civilians in Iraq. Over 9/11, there was no Iraqis involved in 9/11.
And it's crazy. The point they're trying to prove there is like, we're just going to fucking wipe you all out. And it's like the government
Yeah,
doesn't, even their governments don't give a fuck about all people. They're statistics, they're casualties. They're just numbers. Okay, the same people you're slaughtering are going to fuck, make more people. This is how it is.
Our military and our private military contractors are a capitalist police force, a little bit of a religious
Global police is what I call
militia.
them.
And they are also a racist death squad because one of the reasons the Muslims don't, there's a few reasons. The Christians and the Jews have a relationship that goes back to Christians made it a sin to do usury or hold someone in debt. And the Jews didn't. The Jews would hold us in debt because we asked them to. Then once we realized they held all the debt and we didn't want to pay it. Do you need to turn a light on or anything?
Yeah, I probably should.
Go for it. But once we didn't want to pay it, and so we would kill the Jewish banker, which was legal for them and normal for them. It was just a banker. But now they have generational wealth more so than we do, so we demonize them for any time they're have any kind of status. That anti-Semitism comes from old Christian belief that they were doing debt stuff on purpose to us, when in reality we asked and begged for stuff, said we'd pay them back, and then killed them instead because we couldn't.
Right.
I say we.
Well, and
as a
Jesus,
white guy, but I'm
Jesus
not
was a
Christian at all.
Jew. This was something I found out not that long ago. He was a Jew
That's
who was
one of the
Christian.
reasons I'm wondering. Yeah, I wouldn't call him a Christian.
You don't
It's
think-
like calling the Buddha a Buddhist. He
Okay,
wasn't
right.
worshiping himself. The 12,
Right.
The 12 disciples were
You're right, because
Christians.
Christianity wasn't really a thing until
Yeah.
AD.
There was a thing, so he did come from like John the Baptist came from something called the Way, where they believed in baptism, and they didn't quite, all that other stuff hadn't come yet. But he said there was going to be a forerunner to him, and he was beheaded for pointing out that he had done something wrong, according to king, and he told the king, he wasn't a real king, King Herod, his dad was a king, he was just like a viceroy or something. But he was like, yeah, well, you cheated on your wife. So then he got beheaded, John the Baptist did, and then Jesus came along. But I think a lot of this shit got written. I don't believe in any of it, of course. I don't.
The Bible has been rewritten so many times. I'm not religious by any
explicitly
means.
and hidden.
I believe in right and wrong.
Yeah, I hate organized religion. I'm mildly spiritual. It might just be weed that does that. That's a legit side effect, is synchronicity.
For sure.
You don't believe in a coincidence if you're high enough on weed is a legit side effect, medical.
I believe in that.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Fate and coincidence and chance. I mean, there's...
And it's nice to be in tune a bit with those things.
I believe in balance.
I think the most spiritual things are like trees and birds and shit.
Right. Getting in tune with the earth.
Oh,
right.
You want to hear? Okay, so this is actually the craziest shit that makes me question our universe. There's something called superposition. So, something can be, it's that Schrodinger's cat where something can be two things at once. The argument didn't make sense for the longest time, but then they proved it and then described that, and that makes sense. They shot a single light particle through a filter that has two holes. Now that light particle should only go through one hole. It's one.
But
light
it duplicated itself.
It did something because we got a rainbow. How did it go through two holes if it's one light particle, right? We got a rainbow, so they got an electron microscope to watch it. Guess what happens? It doesn't do it because we're looking. Light behaves differently when you look at it. There's a thing in The Witcher 3.
Really? So the atoms, so like if a light particle is made of cells and atoms or whatever,
Whatever it's made of.
it splits to do a rainbow, but when you're looking at it, it won't.
No, it can't break the rules.
Well, maybe because
behind the curtain.
Well, we know that the speed of light is way faster than the speed of sound.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe our eyes aren't able to perceive the time frame like per second rate to actually see it split. Maybe it's just so fast that it doesn't do it. No. It doesn't do it because we can't see the frame rate of it.
No. It doesn't matter about the fact the telescope is there at all. Turns it off and makes it pick between one of the holes. It can't do the physically impossible and go through two holes if it's observed at all. So it's literally the looking at it.
Right.
It's like God's curtain. Like
right.
So what I was going to explain.
That's a good observation there.
The Witcher 3's program, like its mechanics, when you turn and you're not looking, all those dudes slowly like melt. Like his arm will drift off. It doesn't.
I haven't played it.
It's fine. You'd never see it. But if you move the screen, everything behind you
is melting. Yeah,
it's not holding proper form. There's certain bits, like if a guy's hammering, his hands stay there, but his arm and his head, they do weird shit because it doesn't need to use that memory. It doesn't need to use that hard drive.
The CPU, right?
It doesn't need to use CPU.
Yeah.
So
it's an irrelevant.
It'll just let the numbers drift. The NPC is still basically there.
Right.
And when you turn around,
their flow matter is there, right?
So light is doing the same thing. So like when they say like
weird.
if a tree falls
doesn't make a sound. Yeah.
No. The air vibrates, but no, by definition of sound, it kind of doesn't because sound is ear vibrating.
Well, yeah. Because in order for a sound to be heard, it has to be heard by a living thing.
Yeah, but that's not superposition. Superposition's crazy.
It's like consciousness almost. Like when you leave my house after this interview.
I'm a figment of your imagination.
In my conscious brain, your world doesn't exist anymore. It's still just my world. Same with you. When you leave, Gonzo's world no longer exists. Yeah. You don't know if I'm even a real thing.
Now here's two deep things that I have an opinion. One, the simulation thing. Their argument for us currently being in it is that we're close to the tech. This is just a big leap because they're pretending that you're not going to work yourself to the bone and go in debt to get into that refrigerator, and that the point isn't that you retire and die in that refrigerator for 2 years. If there's a pod that simulates everything, you're going to know you're in the Matrix pod. You don't wake up in it, you die in it.
Right.
And you spent $72,000 to get that fucking pod. So we're not a fucking simulation. It's coming, and you shouldn't do it.
No, hell no. I don't want to be preserved for the future.
It's going to be Neuralink.
Who knows if there's going to be a future?
It's going to be
I'm
Neuralink.
enjoying the now.
Actually,
I
Elon's
know
getting pushed out.
I know that I'm here consciously right now. Like, I can feel pain. You know what I mean? I know that I'm here. That time exists on this plateau of, like, my universe, right? If I lock up like that, then I no longer, like I said, they're like, who knows if there's a future?
Yeah.
I know that the past and the present are real. I don't know if the future is real.
Yeah.
It could be shut down at any time.
So, like, the idea of a dream.
Oh, man, I've been having bad dreams lately.
Whatever.
And
yeah,
I can't sleep.
I mean, like, I don't dream anymore because I smoke
Weed
so
will
much
weed will suppress that. It really will.
You know what I used to do? I used to keep a dream journal and then cut it up and rearrange it into new ideas. But it didn't end up being anything interesting because the dreams were more interesting. One of them was I broke into it wasn't a specific one, but I broke into a famous rapper's house, and then I was going to sneak under some stairs that didn't have anything under them, like those nice McMansion stairs with nothing under them. And I was going to go under those, but there were snakes. I tried to turn, I remember that being part of it. But the other thing is some people argue we don't have free will. Pisses me clean off.
And that's the only thing that God really gave us was free will.
I think
if you believe in God and all that.
I think free will in the context of a human being is the cerebral cortex. Like, we found it. It's the thing that, like, connects, like, most animals don't have anything like it. It connects all the animal parts of the brain you already had. It's aware of them. Self-awareness.
Your fight or flight, right.
Fight or flight. Everything has fight or flight, but this thing...
Right. That's what makes us animals.
Connects fight or flight with the neurotic inability to make a decision because you comprehend all of the consequences per decision. And those decisions are your identity and your free will. You're not so the people, when they try to make this argument, they start claiming we don't have omniscience and omnipotence. We can't fly or live forever. It's like, no, that's not free will. That's living forever. That's a different ability. Making choices that may even kill me. You could argue many animals don't make that you have to give them a chemical or exclude them deliberately from their living situation for them to do that. Whereas humans, while that's part of it, a guy can just say, I'm going to OD on heroin today.
Yeah.
A guy can just say, I'm going to do some
I'm just going to
crazy
give
shit.
up. I'm not going to shower. I'm not going to eat. Fuck water.
You can turn into Gigi Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Without being biologically Gigi Allen.
And that dude is insane.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing a tour right now, and I tagged Devin in it, and I would love to see him come out here. It would be fucking insane. That dude is a wild man.
Something we didn't finish was the Kyle stuff.
Yeah. We can go back into that.
Yeah. There's a few things, like, I like clearing up political things as much as anyone will listen to me and trust me. So, he was talking about the Satanists are going to do gender war.
Oh, God.
Dude, the trans thing, like, I get with sports, it's complicated, but with everything else, fuck off. They've always been around. And, like, that's what the Nazis were burning, was trans research. The first time in the Weimar Republic was, like, more opulent. Not more opulent than America, or more decadent, but it was like that. And they were very left-wing and had all this open research and knew what was going on. And the Nazis came and burned all of that research, and that research was DEI trans, whatever you want to call it, all that, like, other people kind of shit. But
science will tell you that, like, the XY chromosomes of, like, what makes a man,
that's
testosterone.
So let me do this.
All that shit. Like, but when you even look at the skeletal structure of, like, a decomposed body, if you find just a skeleton out in the woods, you're gonna be able to identify whether or not it's a male or a female based on the bone structure. Now, when you start going trans, well, let's say like how the fuck are you supposed to, like, let's say a man becomes a female. When they find that body, how are they going to be able to identify that person? Because they identify as a female. They're going to be looking for a male.
Here's the thing.
Because of John Doe.
No one wants to be John Doe.
You're going to be a John Doe. If they can't figure out who you are.
It doesn't matter once you're a John Doe. like that just sucks.
Yeah,
that
you're
John
just
Doe.
donated to
You
science
want a
at that point.
headstone that says your fucking name, and you want to
Yes.
be buried in your shit, or you want someone who loves you to carry you, or you want to be burned and only be remembered in photos. Here's the thing: sex and gender are different. Gender was for early researchers to say that African women in this African tribe, they're the bigger ones physically. They eat and get bigger. We don't do that. So gender was an expression of sex. The women do this and the men do that. So long hair and a dress and painted nails and a dainty voice is not your penis and it's not your bones.
Right.
Also, and this goes towards the sports thing, if you are trying to biologically move yourself because you have dysphoria and you want to puke and kill yourself and you see a penis in between your legs or vice versa, the treatment for that physically, you wouldn't be able to compete against men.
Right.
And here's the truth. Every single time a trans woman hits number one, they make national news. That's not every time, and it's not most times. They're usually getting beat by 2 or 3 women who aren't sick with bones that are rotting, because that's literally what the treatment does. Their bones become less dense. Their muscle tendons become less dense. They're legitimately weaker.
Right.
They legit can't compete. Like if you have a boxer that goes trans woman, well, and here's the thing, I don't care that much if you say he can't box. She can't, but I don't care that much. That's not what they're doing. That's a distraction. They're trying to create new laws and crimes to put ladies with beards in prison.
Right.
Remember this.
And those ladies with beards will go to a woman's prison.
The sociologists have the number. If anyone...
And my sister, she identifies as a male.
There you go.
You know, I have a trans sister, you know.
If
she
you
identifies, so technically my brother, you know.
Look at the statistics.
It was a little bit of an adjustment. Sometimes I still forget, you know,
you said
because
your
that's
sister,
been my
but-
sister for,
Yeah.
you know, 18 years.
Trans
and
men are
and
very
is now
rare as
and it
well.
is now my brother, you know. So
Yeah.
it can be a little weird situation, but I respect it. I told him, I
Good.
said, don't spend your time trying to please me, because I don't give a fuck. I just want you to be
Yeah.
happy, and that's the same with anybody.
Do it. You got
But when it comes to like, competition,
Yeah.
I feel like you got to stay in your lanes a little bit there, you know.
A little bit. It's
a
I don't even care
very-
that much if they don't get in.
It's a
'cause I
very
want them
tricky
to have
set of
human-
rules to set.
I want them to have human rights. I want them to be able
Yes.
to rent an apartment and get a job and
Yes,
use a
with no
restroom.
judgment.
Yeah, because and people don't get this. Like if you make gender a protected class, what that does is that if there's a transgender person, like so, Bill C-16 is how Jordan Peterson actually got famous. Was claiming it was Maoist, and it was going to add gender as a protected class. This would mean that if a transgender millionaire owned an apartment in Vancouver and you wanted to rent it, she couldn't say you're cisgendered, no, and you couldn't do it vice versa.
Right.
You can't be bigoted on gender.
No.
He claimed that you wouldn't be able to, like if you misgendered them once on accident, you'd go to prison. Not a thing. Not a thing in any other context.
Well, yeah, like I would have just misgendered my own brother right
if
there,
I had
right?
a thing that every time
Because
I
I
met,
called my brother my sister.
yeah, if every time I met a black
That's
guy,
crazy.
I called him Leroy, I wouldn't go to prison. I might get talked to at my job.
You might get beat
Like,
up by the guy you're calling Leroy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Those
It
are
might
called-
piss him off.
Those are, and you'll notice
Those are
this
consequences.
with the right. They don't like the social consequences, but they love it when a cop comes and gets you.
Yeah.
If they disagree with you.
Oh yeah.
But they hate
Punish
it
him.
when they act like if they're unpopular for saying something and it hurts their career or their reputation, that's the same thing as what happened to George Floyd. Like it's the exact same. That's kind of how they.
I'm not really familiar with why he was arrested. I know that he wasn't even arrested.
No.
Honestly, he wasn't arrested. He
I
was
don't-
detained and fucking murdered.
Yeah, I don't
In
mean
the
terms
street.
of the crime committed. I mean in terms of the level of victimhood. If someone doesn't like what they said, they act like they're MLK and they got shot over it. They act like the Nazis are coming to get them because they're not popular with 13-year-old girls on Twitter. It's fucking pathetic behavior. I've lost so many comedians could suck my dick in rotten hell because Dave Chappelle went and debated children, a classroom of children, about the trans thing and lost and didn't upload it and then said that they were cool or something.
Nuh-uh.
I'd rather you be Cat Williams and try to fight one kid and lose.
Dude, he
than
got his
fucking
ass whooped by
be
that teenager.
A mentally handicapable little whiny little brat that said, when I was 5, my mommy and daddy said that boy and girl were this way and it not, and I'm upset. Here's a fun fact. If you're born in between the sexes, which is a thing, it's called intersex, you have XY, XXY.
Like a hermaphrodite?
Yeah.
Where you have both genital parts?
The doctor, without your consent, will perform underage gender reassignment surgery on you. Here's an idea.
So
Here's the
basically
thing.
your parent will pick, or no? The doctor decides what gender
the
you will
doctor
be.
and the parent talk, and they will just say, hey, listen, it's hard to be intersex. What did you want?
Right.
And they just go in there surgically and lean them one way and give them some meds.
Right, but
It's
that
always happened.
child later could find that out and be like, well, what the fuck? I don't want to
Yeah.
be a guy. I wanted to
So,
be a girl.
Think about this. You're born.
What a situation to be in.
You're a boy. Your mom looks at your penis. You think I'm going to say something about trans? No, she looks at it and goes, I hate those kinds of penises. I never want to sit on or suck those penises. Cut his fucking foreskin off.
Circumcised.
How's that okay?
I don't know.
It's not.
Because you can't remember. You know?
I can't remember anything as a baby, dude.
I am circumcised.
Doesn't mean you can do
know what
whatever
I
you
mean?
want to a fucking baby.
Yeah, no, it's a
I don't
very
like
painful process.
When they pierce babies' ears. The fuck
That's
is that?
crazy. That is
Fuck
crazy.
off. It's
That's
a baby.
crazy.
I
Yeah.
hate that shit. So that people know what's in its diaper. Is that why? I've heard women describe why. You're gonna advertise to the adults.
Yeah,
what
that you have a
orifices
female baby because it has
by
fucking
stabbing her ears.
Yeah.
She's not a her yet.
right.
She's not. She
Yeah.
poops and cries and it goes up her back and she
It's a
can't
human
walk.
being. At the end of the day, we're all just
She's
human beings.
Human, but she's not a woman, and she
Right.
doesn't need to wear a fucking pink tube top and an ear piercing. You fucking relax. She can
Yeah.
wear fucking baby clothes.
Right.
Yeah, there's just so much shit in the world that's politicized now that shouldn't be.
Yeah,
And then if you're political, you're the bad guy. 'cause
and
you
that kind of
politicized
forceful
everything.
feeding of like who you should be
Mhm.
also makes tomboys and
Under-
cross-dressers.
I pledge
You
allegiance
just gotta let people be themselves.
under God.
You just gotta let people be themselves.
Yeah. I was openly
If you do that, you're gonna see the greatest people. When you just let somebody be themselves without judgment, without force feeding them like who you want them to be, you see the best people. You really do. I'm one of those people like where like my dad's kind of a stickler, but my mom has always just been like, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, my mom.
I love you unconditionally.
dad's the same
That's
way,
all
yeah.
that matters. You're my
Same here.
child. I love you.
Same. I forgot a word and now I don't remember what word I was trying to remember.
My fault.
You're good. And now I've completely forgot what we were talking about because I do that. I try to remember a word and then I'm gone on what we were saying. You were talking about parental support. No, that's what I'm thinking about. But
Well, yeah, no, we was talking about
Oh, politicizing and
with the transgender stuff, you know.
You know. But
Well, you was talking about how it's circumcising like a child,
Mhm.
a baby, you know, and then
yeah,
and
there's
piercing a
just-
baby's
There's
ears.
just a lot of things that are like that. One of the reasons I want to do stand up is because there's a lot of things that I watch, all like in terms of coworkers say, they all seem chill with it. Recently, I've been
And as-
bringing up stuff at work, and people go, "Yeah, it's weird."
As a
for the
comedian,
most
the thing
part-
that I love about it most is like I tiptoe around people a lot, respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
With comedy, fuck that. I'm not
Yeah.
tiptoeing around anybody with my comedy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be racist,
I've done it.
stereotypical.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be funny.
you have to play off.
I'm gonna be funny about what I say. It's gonna hurt feelings.
You have to.
That's what comedy is.
You have to play with what they see. You're a white guy.
But as a person, though, as a genuine person, I respect everybody. I got mad love for just people in general.
there was some.
But when it comes to comedy, I'm gonna be an asshole.
talk show,
I don't care.
where they were talking about a white guy had said something and he went viral and it was the wrong thing, and a black lady on the talk show said, "Yeah, but that's just what white boys do. They just say stuff they ain't supposed to say." And look at us, we're two white guys with our own podcasts. It's legit. The stereotypes do hit, and like for me,
Oh yeah.
like I definitely have stereotypes I hit where it's like, yeah, I have like a kind of a dick dad and a supportive mom. And then I got a loud mouth because I was never big enough to fight, and my dad was violent, but I learned how to talk good so that I could either de-escalate with humor or own somebody enough that they wouldn't feel like it's a win to throw their limbs at me.
Right.
I'm
I'm the same way.
Yeah, and then I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to go to work because I watched it fail my family. I watched like investments fail for no reason. I watched and I comprehended it pretty early watching like the news because there was comedians that did the news, and some of the stuff they said was funny, and I wanted to know what the fuck they were talking about. And so like comprehending that like my dad getting laid off and like realizing, yeah, they don't want to pay that. They don't want to pay for employees. The point of a company is to get people to buy your shit without paying anyone else, because there's a guy at the top that pockets every red cent that's profit.
Yep.
You don't see any of that. You get a contract.
Yeah, that's
Like,
their rainy day fund.
I always wanted to do something outside of it that was artsy, even if it was like arts and crafts on the side. I've like considered getting into like firing clay and shit, and like making ashtrays.
Fuck yeah.
Like just shit like that. But overall, the big thing I'm dealing with right now is like trying to find a funny voice where I can entertain a crowd and be me, and it's not just me being me.
I think you do a great job with announcing and you know, like the way you call people up to the stage is always very upbeat. I mean,
Nice.
Hinchcliffe is really good about that too, about how he's like, Adam Ray! You know, he don't fuck around, dude.
For certain dudes, yeah, he'll do that.
Yeah, he really calls people up and gets
Sometimes
them
he'll
hyped up, you know?
Fuck up
And
an
you're good
open
about that.
micer. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
try.
yeah.
Especially, you have an easier name to do because you sound like it's Tyler Gonzo Scott. I've always wanted to be a flight announcer. That's another thing I wanted to do is Michael Buffer. I always wanted to be, yeah, that doesn't sound bad. That feels good.
Doesn't sound bad.
No, that sounds good. But I've always wanted to be for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are now ready to copyright infringement.
Hell yeah.
I've always wanted to do that.
One man.
One man
This summer, you do not want to miss. I really like the movie announcer, like
Yeah.
the movie trailer voices. One man
this summer.
on a mission. Yeah.
Brendan Fraser is O.J. Simpson.
It's so good. You could really hype up like this,
Yeah.
the plainest situation with that. Like,
Hey, you want to know who I want to play in a movie someday?
oh, you want to do a biopic of somebody?
I got one biopic and I got one role, like Hollywood role I'd want to do. I got that if the acting, if of all my talents, I think acting's the one that I actually have, and the other ones I can fake it. But acting, I understand and want to do, and I want to.
And you have acted on Pizza Records' upcoming sitcom.
Yes,
For the record.
I play one of
And
the
I'm
main
excited for that.
four. Yeah, Pizza Records has a sitcom, a digital sitcom that it's pretty much finished the pilot. And this week, right after Pizza Records Live, we're gonna film something for it, I believe. But
Love it.
the sitcom, I named it. It's called For the Record, and we over time decided to do it the cam style, like The Office.
Hell yeah.
Because it's for production, it's better, but it also works for that title of For the Record, like someone justifying their actions afterward, which you
Right.
can only get
Right.
in that kind of show.
I really wish I could get in there and like become a character.
Over
As of
time-
now, I've only done an extra appearance. So
Yeah, over time that'll definitely happen, I'm sure, because he's wanting to move on that. But yeah, For the Record is I'll do a quick pitch and plug. It's about Pizza Records, but the owner instead is a guy named Charlie, played by Zach Goggins, the local comedian. Very funny, likable guy. He plays the like overwhelmed, pissed off, annoyed owner who's trying to make his dream work. And then there's Mercedes De Silva, who plays Mia, who's kind of a lost soul, a little bit grew up in foster or something like that. You know, she kind of has a rough background, is a bit rough and tumble, likes to go to rock shows. Then there's Lily, who's a bit more played by, there's Lucy, who's played by Lily, and I'm blanking on her last name. But she plays like a mean, ditzy, blonde, mean girl that
Are you talking
likes
about,
Taylor Swift.
are you talking about their daughter? Because
No,
I used
no, not their...
okay. Well, this
is like a 17-year-old girl that plays like a character in the show.
Okay,
She's
right.
like she works there, and then I played Jacob. This is like the main four, and then I played Jacob, who I wrote his background. Yeah, I'll have another. I'll have to piss after this. We're getting there.
Yeah, we're
we got
getting there.
15 minutes. But I played Jacob, who's more of a nerd who doesn't get along with everyone so great. He's a hipster nerd and kind of sheltered.
Yeah, I've seen your character. You wear a vest. Kind of got the Mr. Rogers look.
Yeah,
because you remember that one day when I came to do the extra, I just met you at Pizza Records Live, and then I seen you like days later, and I was like, "Damn, you clean up well, bud."
Yeah, I was not.
I was like, I was not expecting to see you like this.
Jacob doesn't have parents. They were into rock music, and then he didn't know them, and he grew up with his grandparents on like a farm, but he didn't farm. His conservative cousin farmed, and he just like read books and listened to records, and now he just like bothers people at the record store.
Hell yeah.
Spencer, Earl Spencer Newman and Spencer Earl Newman.
Earl's
Spencer
Newman, I thought. That's his name on Facebook.
Spencer Newman's his name. But
cool dude, I like him.
Spencer Newman plays my favorite character, Kevin, who is basically just a guy that hangs out at the store and is an issue, and he plays him great. He plays very opposite of himself. Spencer's a real shy guy, but he plays just an outgoing guy that does whatever he wants. But the show's been really fun, and we're hoping to get that picked up in some context.
That'd be awesome.
There's been a lot of ideas pitched.
Like I said, dude, we have a market, a big
as to
market
how to
here
do
in
it.
Jacksonville for entertainment.
But then there's also movie ideas and ongoing web show ideas. So one of the ideas is mine. It's my idea. My idea. Thank you, sir.
No problem, buddy. Thank you for coming out.
We haven't done much with it yet. I don't think I'm going to use what we've done so far, and I got to talk with people about how we go forward. But I, in it, am a ghost hunter. So I basically play myself. I'm probably going to look like this.
Hell yeah.
But this idea, we've already done a quick.
And see, that's how I'm trying to portray myself. Like, if I do TV shows, like, you know how, like, celebrities always, like, play themselves sometimes in, like, certain roles? That's what I want to do. I want to be Gonzo as himself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, if I do, like, sitcoms and shit,
Gonzo's the personality.
It is, yeah. And it's a loving, like, really wacky guy that's just, like, all over the place.
Yeah, this character is me. But instead of any kind of entertainment, my wife bought me a ghost hunting LLC. And
Nice.
A little bit of equipment. And that's how I made my break. And I just go to people's houses for $100, $200.
I have spooky shit happen here in the house all the time.
If you want to do an episode...
I have, like, real life, like, spirits here in the house. Like, I'll show you some of the weird shit here before you leave.
Here's the idea with the show, though. It's not
Right.
I'm a dickhead. I'm a mean, smart guy, right?
Right.
And I'm mean to people.
Ah, this fucking place ain't haunted.
It's me if I didn't have empathy. So I'm tricking people because I don't care. I want their money.
Right.
So I'll manipulate people. I'll be I'm mean, but the character's a bit smarter and a bit of a smart ass. But he's still among other people stupid. I like him, so he's gonna think he accomplished things that he didn't. People can see through it. So a bit of a buffoon, but he's the mean, smart one. And then we got another guy. Right now it's Brooke, but Brooke doesn't.
Hell yeah. I like Brooke. He's cool.
He's cool, but I'm going to see how he feels about it. He might want to be in production, but right now my other half has to be a nice, dumb guy who wants to make a show. And that's the other character. And right now it's Brooke. We've only filmed a couple minutes, and I don't think we'll use it.
Hell yeah,
and then
dude.
we've filmed stuff with Jacob, and then Michael Kyle's character, Michael, and Spencer's character, Kevin, from For the Record. We've had those three. We filmed something that hasn't been put together yet. I might have to get together with them to be in the editing bay with them for that. But because I wrote that and directed it, basically.
Hell yeah.
Part of it's shot on cell phone. Part of it's portrait, and I didn't like that. I should have been more director mode about that. And said,
yeah, that landscape mode,
go back to landscape. But I edit that together, and I'm hoping to do a lot of wild, low-budget, quick internet content.
Skits and stuff?
Some of my Devin Smock at Pizza Records doesn't like the word content, but I don't mind it because I don't know what it's going to be yet. What if I have to change it?
Right.
That directing is doing what comes to you, not what you plan.
There's shows out there that have started on content, you know? A lot of ideas have stemmed from skits.
Yeah.
You know?
So, and then I have an idea that I'm about to pitch to two people at Pizza Records. That's like my big movie dream. and I can't talk about it that much.
No, that's fine.
But it's low budget and high
I'm excited,
concept.
and I would love to be included in anything that you have going
Hell
on
yeah,
there.
you
So
would be great for
reach
my
out.
movie idea. You would be great for my ghost hunting idea.
Hell yeah, man! I'm all about it.
And-
As long as you can fit around my weird work schedule.
I understand
Yeah,
that, we still got like 10 minutes. I'm
Yeah,
tired
here,
just 'cause
you know
I'm gonna
what?
Have to pee, and then my wife's gonna. I almost said my fucking mom.
we
You
can
know,
still. I
Getting
still
a
want to
ride
try
from
this
somebody
out.
else is still weird for me.
Oh God,
Right? I would go Shaun of the Dead.
these are fucking amazing. Personally, so what is this?
So yeah, you just pick one, and over time it remembers what
This is
you've
flick
watched
chart.
and what you picked. So if you've seen
Both
either-
amazing movies.
You've seen them.
Yes, I've seen them
I-
both. Oh God, I love Back to
I-
the Future. I love Shaun of the Dead.
That's Back to the Future 3. So that's the
The
Western.
third is the first is on. The first and the second are really good. They're all great, but
I'm not.
I don't have a
huge on-
favorite.
I'm not huge on the third, so I would.
The
Pick
third's
Shaun
okay.
Of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead's fucking amazing.
I do like Shaun of the Dead. That's a really.
Edgar Wright and them fucking nail it. All right, that one.
Oh God,
I'd go
aliens for
yeah,
sure.
I don't like that whole. Oh, I didn't tell you the other. I didn't
Oh,
tell you either
God.
of my roles.
What?
First one, the biopic, Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah, that's right. Duh, we can't skip that.
If I hit 40 to 50 years old and my name's out there, I want to do Vince McMahon with some latex and some.
Fuck yeah,
I want
dude.
either role. I want my teeth fixed and replaced. Basically.
Yeah, I need
Mine
some
are
work
fucked.
done.
But so Vince McMahon in a biopic, I would love in 10 to 20 years to do that.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And then in
Hell,
terms of character, Bruce Banner. I want to play Bruce Banner, Incredible Hulk.
Nice.
I think I could do that. I got the.
For sure.
I think I could do
Like
that
the old
physically.
style Incredible Hulk. Like
Yeah, I don't
where he's in the
like-
purple shorts and shit.
I just mean Bruce Banner. I could play the brown-haired scientist that has to control his anger and is a bit more meek because he can't let go,
Right.
and then does. I get, and I have ideas as in terms of behind the scenes as to how I'd want it done, like how the story would have to work
Right.
and who would have to be involved, like in terms of Marvel IP. That's like the only like my big rock star goals, and outside of something I would make up on the spot, would be either honestly it's the Hulk, but recently I was like, man, I would love to play Vince McMahon in a movie. I was thinking about him. We were talking about announcing fighters' names, and it's recent that there's been women announcing like the Undertaker. I'm like, no.
Oh whoa, I bet
When
that's
you hear
weird.
When you hear Vince announce, like when Iron Mike Tyson came out to get pushed by Stone Cold, when you hear Vince say it, he goes,
Iron Mike Tyson!
You got that rage in it. Gets everybody hyped up. They're like, oh shit!
I'm not going to insult your intelligence
yeah.
anymore, but I'm going to tell you that tonight we have Iron Mike.
I love that energy he had, and he's the devil. He's
Fucking,
an evil piece of shit, and he's the devil.
Pauly Shore, he did the exercise guy. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons, yeah.
Find
Against
out.
against his family's will too. They told him no.
Yep.
Even Richard Simmons told him no. I don't want you doing a biopic of me. And then he died. And
Well-
and Pauly Shore was like, "Fuck you, dude. I'm still gonna do it for
they
YouTube."
do that. They do. They all do that.
Yeah, he
Whenever
said,
they
"I'm
have
doing it
something,
anyway."
The guy says no. They
And
wait for him to die.
I watched a little bit of it. It was good. He really looks like Richard Simmons. It's fucking crazy.
It is good. Pauly Shore
He's a great actor.
is a nepo baby.
What is that?
Nepotism is when you inherit.
Oh yeah, he
Shit
inherited
from your
fame
parents.
because his mom owned the comedy shop,
Yeah, comedy
store. Yes.
Yeah, Mitzi Shore.
Yep.
So.
Oh,
you
so
know,
he was
he's a
around.
little
He was
bit of
around
a-
comedians
It
forever.
wasn't
I mean,
so hard for him.
yeah, he didn't really have to work for it. But God, dude, he's got a very unique style. I wanna.
I kind of hijacked your show. We didn't get to your stuff.
No, it's
We
okay.
can watch a few things.
Yeah, I wanna. We'll just pick through some of the better things here.
I'm only looking at my watch because I got to piss.
You're all right, buddy.
I'm making sure I'm not risking anything. I'm good.
We'll do some funny shit here. Oh, okay, this is a good one.
I love Sopranos.
You remember this? Oh, Sopranos is great. You ever try to go get some weed when you were? Oh well, you said you didn't start smoking until you were an adult. When
I
it became
tried
legal.
it with friends at 17, and it fucked me up bad to the point one of my friends agreed he had a weird headache after, and he was like, "Do you think it was dosed? Are you okay?" And I was like, "I would have no way of knowing." But then I tried it again at 21, and I didn't get high. But then I had to get it out of my system for a work thing, and it worked. I didn't get flagged, and then yeah, I got back into it at like 27 years old. Smoked
yeah.
weed for like a year and felt bad every time because I wasn't going out of town to do comedy. I was going out of town to buy weed.
Yeah.
And then at 28,
it definitely gets in the way. I don't really smoke, you know.
Ron
I
White,
smoke a little bit to chill, but like it really slows me down and it like
Yeah.
stops production on like anything I
It
have
does.
going on. It's a good thing to do like when I'm gaming, I'm like relaxing.
Yeah, when you want to relax.
That's it.
Ron White, I got into him when I was like 8. That was the first comic I liked. And then at 28, that's the age Ron White started at 29, and then I started at 28. So I got into it late. I get jealous of people who had one thing since they were 15 and got good at it.
Yeah, I started smoking weed when I was 13.
I don't mean weed. I mean
started
like
doing
hobbies, but
music
yeah.
at like 15. Yeah, no.
There you go.
I'd been 13 or 14. I can't even remember anymore. The fucking years are just mashed up.
Right.
Fucking here, wait. I think you'll like this. This is one of them rock shows where everybody's just beating the shit out of each other.
Mosh pits are so
Dude, this
fucking
one's
stupid.
excessive though, dude. Look at this shit.
If you like mosh pits, I hope you get fucking bludgeoned to death in a parking lot that's not a show. Someone just beats your ass like that.
I actually have I got a comedy skit
Yeah.
that I'm gonna talk to you off of screen, and it's kind of like this. It's pretty excessive, ain't it? Look at all that shit they're throwing, dude. Everybody's just hurting each other. Oh, look at this.
I barely get concerts, so doing that shit at a concert is right out. Like, already I gotta stand around and hear a lesser version of it with people allowed to scream over it. I want them tased and maced and dragged out. If you're loud singing along at a live show of any context, I am fine with you getting fucking assaulted and dragged out. I paid fucking
If everybody's singing though, it's like I don't know.
I remember watching an Adele show
When it hits
clip
that hard, like when people
where
really resonate with a song,
everyone
you know, it makes the artist feel good to know that people
Sure,
know the lyrics.
I get it. It's just like, what's the fucking point?
Right.
But
it shouldn't overtake like what you're actually listening to.
I watched
though.
an Adele clip where she's at a live show and everyone's wearing tuxes and dresses and have their own seat, and one guy is just
Oh
over the
God,
song.
I hate that
They
shit.
won't remove him, and Adele defends him. It's like, well, these people paid so much money, they're all sitting quietly.
Yeah, they want to hear.
Fuck him in the ass. I
Yeah.
hope he gets fuck him.
Yeah,
I
do remember that
shit.
video.
And
I had
that's where I'm
seen
of
it.
two minds. Where like I think a comedian should handle a heckler, but at the same time, it's a fucking show that people paid to go see. Shut the fuck up or get tased.
Oh God. Dude, okay, I don't know if you know Riff Raff at all.
I do.
Dude, he's been doing AI for his videos lately.
Yeah, I saw.
And this
Of course
shit,
he would.
it is so fucking funny.
Oh God.
I love it. It is so fucking good.
It's exactly what I thought I would see if he did this.
It's so perfect for his style.
It is.
He's so good, dude.
I saw another one of those, and the AI does look cool. Hey, have you heard of RazzleCon?
RazzleCon.
So she and her boyfriend were these nerds, and then they got into crypto, and they stole through a company called Bitfinex. They found a way to steal through that company $4.5 billion in crypto. It's the
Holy
biggest crypto
shit.
heist. And she was a rapper.
And it's that untraceable money, you know. So it's like
No, and then you know what they did after? Bought gift cards for people at their extravagant wedding. You could trace those too. So they got big caught, and then they didn't go to Russia. They just hung out until they. But here's the thing: they're both already out. She got a lesser sentence, so she got a plea bargain as always. Don't ever commit a crime with another person because they'll plea on you.
Yeah.
Also, plea as early as you can because it's how it works. It's just how convictions work. They get a 90-something% conviction rate. Don't get the shit into the deal. Plea,
Right.
plea, and don't talk without a lawyer.
oh yeah,
Do not speak without counsel. But they just did a few years. They're out.
no
But,
shit.
They don't have as much money, but now they're famous. They can go do
Oh,
interviews
yeah.
for fucking money.
Yeah,
They
and
haven't
I'm
yet, I
sure
don't
somebody's
think.
gonna make a biopic of them.
Yeah, that's what happened with Wolf of Wall Street guy. He just went and wrote a book in a cell with Tommy Chong playing tennis. That sounds
No
like hell.
shit. Oh
That's what
yeah, when
prison
he got
was.
arrested for mushrooms. Yeah.
Yeah. Tommy Chong got arrested.
Yep.
The Wolf of Wall Street guy, he just wrote a book about what happened, hanging out with Tommy Chong, who'd already written a book and had edited a few,
Yep.
so he walked him through it, and he played tennis for fun, and then he got out. Martin Scorsese makes a movie about him, good or bad.
Amazing
He's in.
movie. Wolf of Wall Street
It's
is
a great
fucking
fucking movie.
iconic. And to know that's like all real shit that happened is fucking insane.
I'm gonna tell you something.
But
we
yeah.
hit 8, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking burst with urine.
yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
I'll die of a urinary tract infection.
Yeah, I got to piss too. I really appreciate you coming out, dude.
love you, bro.
We'll do some funny fucking stuff
We
like
will.
this.
And have me back on
We got
again.
to know you a lot.
Yeah,
and
because this time that's out of the way.
yeah, so next time we can make
We'll
it more of a fun
equally
thing.
ramble.
I
Yeah.
really liked having you on. You're one of my favorite guests so far.
You're one of mine.
I do need you to sign before you leave.
will.
Anywhere you want. I can move out of your way. It doesn't matter.
I'll show you my cool
You
celebrity
can pull
signature
it. You can
since
pull it and
childhood.
fucking.
I
You know,
stole this. I had to forge my dad's signature late in childhood to get things done. So my signature is just my dad's signature. But it looks like a movie star thing. There.
Whoa!
Boom, boom.
You slaughtered that. You can't even tell.
Right?
Is that how it's supposed to look?
Yep. And that's a D, then A to L with the little dot for the I, and then T, A, B, and then it just kind of goes out. All right, I'm going to urinate in your bathroom, sir.
All right, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pizza Records Live. I'm your host, Daniel Tabor. I'm a human being. I was like, you want a fuckboy stepdad? That's right. I was like, can we take it home, Daddy? Yeah. Hey, who's not gay? Well,